This story would begin on the planet of Zeno-sama. Being the king at all, he was bored, and in the same way he'd realize all the progress the universes had created.
Daishinkan, I don't have any purpose, because even though I've got unlimited power, there's nothing I could do to take away how bored I am.
I understand, my lord, but you're the pillar of the 18 universes. You can't have such thoughts, because if thanks to you all the 18 universes were able to prosper, you were able to create the first life form.
You and I even created simultaneously, but even though my power is higher than yours, your ability on the battlefield's incredible. You've been called my guardian and protector.
Indeed, my lord, since you have unlimited power to create life in each of the universes, or rather, you're able to divide the entire infinite vast 18 universes and grant them life, while I have physical prowess on the battlefield.
You're right, but how do we unite our powers? I want to create a warrior who's perfect. A being who has combat capabilities that you have, as well as possessing the almost infinite reserves of my power.
To be honest, I doubt a body being able to have that power, let alone our combined power. That's kind of crazy, my lord.
You don't understand, Daishinkan. We are not going to request a body of any god or mortal. We'll create this powerful being from the beginning.
You're giving me an idea that we'll create a new individual from our combined genetics, so that they could have both of our abilities.
Right. I'm sure we'll have a perfect warrior. We won't have a being that would do something against him, or even in the distant future, a super warrior that threatens to put my creation at risk. Our successor will defeat him.
I don't know if we're capable of creating a warrior with those capabilities, but if that's what you wish, my lord, you know you can count on me. Let's do it.
Because of this, Daishinkan and Zeno-sama would look at each other, beginning to channel a little of their energy to a specific point. As time passed, they injected more, and a small being would form in the middle of that power, while also they were able to absorb the power that was being released by the subjects. In this pose, they spent about 2 months. Thanks to the fact that Zeno-sama's energy was almost unlimited, that's not a problem, while Daishinkan was beginning to pass on all his knowledge about the fights and types of combat. I've been able to transmit all my knowledge regarding the battlefield, since that's where I have experience as well as knowledge. It's only necessary for this being to be believed, and that requires much more power on the part of Zeno-sama. Zeno-sama's eyes would light up. With more power being able to be perceived in that place, a great aura would rise, and on this occasion, a new warrior was created by Daishinkan and Zeno-sama, and thanks to this, his power was unmatched despite only having a few hours of life. My lord, apparently we were able to succeed, and as we were able to create a new being, and despite having a few hours being born, his power is incredible. That's right. We believe it, and if it's not for my energy reserves, have decreased to incredible levels. I guess this baby has great power.
I'm right with you, lord, but we have to rest. We have to regain our power.
Of course. We'll need to rest. I'll leave my guardians guarding the baby. When we already recovered all our power, we'll give him a name. But we'll have to think about that later. That's how Daishinkan and Zeno-sama retired to their rooms. While both were able to protect the little boy, in a few hours the power of that warrior would grow. At first it wasn't something noticeable, so the guardians didn't notice, but after a few hours, the body, which was small, already was that of a 5-year-old, which would leave them surprised, thinking that they were hallucinating.
What's happened? This baby grew up in a few hours? That's impossible. No, you're making a mistake, since that was his size. There's nothing to worry about. Since only Daishinkan and Zeno-sama, the first creations of everything existing, created their definitive shape.
After a few days, the baby's body grew even more. Both guardians came to check on the baby, but they'd be sent flying by a huge blow, which he wasn't able to dodge. The other guardian, on a somersault, was able to dodge it, but despite that, his cheek was scratched. He would take a bit of a distance, and a great silver aura would rise over the palace. While incredible pressure would keep them on their knees, they were surprised by the power that was released by a simple being that was only born 5 days ago.
How was he able to unleash that power? I understand the great Zeno-sama is great in power, but the power of a king at all is not easy to master. We must stop him. If he continues like this, he might even explode.
Both guardians rushed the warrior with the intent of stopping the energy release. No matter what their efforts were, they couldn't do anything. Who was able to dodge their blows as if it was nothing. This time, the power that it gave off would treat Zeno-sama's guardians as worms. The warrior gave a great roar and would make everything tremble. It was so powerful that it made the dimension that Daishinkan and Zeno-sama were resting in rumble. It was incredible, because these dimensions were in alternate dimensions, which didn't allow the powers of the 12 universe to sit in those places. But despite being from another dimension, a great pressure would fall on both warriors.
Whoa, whose pressure is this? Even though it can move, I'm sure one of the other angels were able to do something against him.
I can't believe the pressure that's falling on me. I feel like my whole body's shaking, because my body's not designed for combat.
Daishinkan with Zeno-sama would return to the palace. The moment they arrived, they were surprised by the warrior with a lot of fur over their body, with one of the guardians being held without difficulty. Since the guardian threw punches and kicks, but no matter how powerful they were, he wasn't able to do anything.
Stop! I don't know who the hell you are, but if you continue with that attitude, we'll have no alternative but to end you.
Of course, yes. Us being the most powerful beings in the 12 universes, you better calm down. Otherwise, I'll stop you myself.
That imposing warrior without flinching would continue to suffocate the Guardian, and despite this, Daishinkan would move at a huge speed against the warrior. Despite coming to the blind spot, the eyes of the warrior was fixed on him. Daishinkan, surprised but equally determined, would lash out a huge blow in vain, since the subject would appear on one side connecting a powerful kick, making him fall to the palace.
Wow, this can't be happening. I didn't think in the 18 universes there was a warrior with a much higher skill than Daishinkan.
One of the Guardians was badly injured and vomiting blood, would approach towards Zeno-sama.
My lord, you gotta stop. That guy's not from our 18 universes. He's the warrior that you and Daishinkan created. I don't know how he developed, but he was able to reach the great level in a short period of time.
Zeno-sama would be surprised as the expectations he had about the warrior exceeded exponentially.
So that's why these great energy reserves was performance on the battlefield's unmatched.
Daishinkan, without knowing this was his creation, would stand up irritated and release a great power, destroying everything around him while the 18 universes shuddered by the power coming from his body. After the end of raising his power, he had a cold look, pouncing on the warrior. Despite the power of Daishinkan, he was able to dodge his blows, and the battle went on. The silvery glow of his eyes began to fade. While his movements were easier to predict, Daishinkan, taking advantage of this, would connect a powerful blow to his stomach, making him fall to the base of the planet, generating destruction for everything in his path.
I don't know who the hell you are, but I'm gonna end your life. No warrior's able to make me bleed and get out alive.
Daishinkan was through an incredible attack. An attack being centimeters from the warrior's body, destroying the great Zeno-sama, an act that left Daishinkan surprised.
My lord, how are you supposed to have this done? That guy's almost able to end the life of the Guardians. He even gave me battle.
I can't let you end the life of our creation, since that guy you try to eradicate's the baby that we formed with our powers.
Daishinkan would react with disbelief. He was about to end the creation both he and Zeno-sama created, both approaching this warrior, laying in a crater. Because of this, he'd be healed by the power of Daishinkan, and Zeno-sama watched everything happen.
While you heal our creation, I'll begin to restore everything destroyed in this battle. I want to know the limit of his power and his prowess on the battlefield to leave me surprised, because despite not having a week that we had created him, he was able to give you battle.
I agree, my lord. It's amazing that the skill you possess. I'm sure that no matter what the enemy that appears in the future, this warrior can face him and end all kinds of ambition.
Since that battle 2 months passed, Daishinkan with Zeno-sama would inform him how he created and was named as the prince of the entire Divine Kingdom, named Goku. In these 2 months, Goku's power consistently increased, which would leave everyone surprised.
Zeno-sama, I want to be able to travel through the 18 universes, since I have an eagerness to meet all the gods and angels, but I don't want to be told about my existence. But why don't you want us to tell of your existence? Is there a reason, or why? Please explain to us.
I don't want you to know about my existence or where I came from, because if you know what your creators, you'll treat me with respect, and what I want is to fight. So please, respect my decision. I promise not to do anything reckless.
It's okay, Goku, don't worry. We won't say anything about your existence. We won't even say that to any of the visited 18 universes.
Heh, thanks Daishinkan-sama. In that case, I'll leave.
Goku would leave to the 18 universes, entering the main universe 18, which was the most powerful universe, and the essence that was perceived was more powerful than the others. Goku, arriving to the planet of the God of Destruction, would be surprised by the received beautiful goddess.
Who are you? And don't you know this is my territory? I'm the most powerful goddess of destruction of the 18 universes. You better go. So you're the most powerful goddess of destruction in the 18 universes. Surprises me because your appearance doesn't look like you're that powerful.
If Goku's mouth was closed by a powerful blow, it'd make him fall. Goku wasn't able to dodge the blow since he'd decreased his power to the level of an ordinary god of destruction. The power of the goddess of destruction, Cirrus, was not ordinary, and this would realize Goku.
Nah, that hurt. Apparently this will be interesting. I hope you're ready because I have the power to face the gods.
Goku would access Ultra Instinct, while pressure would fall on Cirrus's body, but Goku's surprise, his pressure was not able to subdue her.
Must confess, you have great pressure, but if you want to be able to do something, you better try harder, since we gods train all the gods, and because of that our bodies are trained to withstand great pressures.
The great pressure of Cirrus would likewise be released by the entire battlefield, leaving Goku surprised, since her pressure was equally desirable despite that of being a goddess.
Wow, that's amazing! I never thought the gods of destruction would have this great pressure. He's been able to repel my pressure, but I'm just starting.
Meanwhile, on Zeno-sama's planet, everyone present would watch what happened from the energy sphere thanks to Daishinkan.
Wow! So Goku's able to face Cirrus, the most powerful goddess of destruction among the 18 universes.
Daishinkan wouldn't say anything, he'd just observe everything happening. Meanwhile, returning to the battlefield, both of them would stare at each other while their auras were able to free themselves as they destroyed everything in their path. These two incredible powers would begin to collide through Universe 18, which would attract the attention of all the other gods. Since the goddess Cirrus had never expelled her maximum power, Daishinkan, who was her teacher, had not required her to use 100% of her power. I'm surprised Cirrus released all her power. She's even trained with me and never decided to use it all because her demonic blood could get out of control, ending my life, although I doubt it very much.
Daishinkan, apparently this battle's interesting since they both are powerful warriors. I want to know the outcome of this battle.
I'm anxious too, my lord, as I've never been able to contemplate 100% of the power of the goddess of destruction, Cirrus. Everything would turn red around him in the battle, while several hands of hundreds of warriors would rise from the ground. This would leave Goku surprised, since that type of energy was never perceived, but without him being able to put himself on guard, he was sent flying with incredible brutality. So much so that this time, his entire body was destroyed by a single blow, and everything around him would be filled with blood. Seconds later, Goku would fall to the ground, and Cirrus would approach.
What's happened? Were you not able to see my blow? I hope you have much more power, because your arrogance, you should have a great power that supports you.
Goku would stand up, spitting out blood, but something would leave everyone shocked would be the smile on his face.
I didn't expect that. I never thought that being called a simple god of destruction would have power to hurt me. That's amazing.
Cirrus, before able to say anything, she would receive a blow just as powerful as the one she sent to Goku. Sent flying, but Cirrus, not expecting Goku's counterattack, would fall on the ground, forming a gigantic explosion around her. Wow, the power of Goku is able to connect a blow that incredible. Even though he has my knowledge of the battlefield, it amazes me he's able to even find her blind spots under control. But his only weak point is his overconfidence, since for that very reason Cirrus was able to hit him. From the crater created was a great lightning would rise to the top of the planet, which where the entire planet, the god Cirrus, would be destroyed. Because Goku's blow had caused her great pain, and because of this, Cirrus's flurry would increase greatly.
I don't know who the hell you are, but you can't let a mere mortal attack me like this. Right this minute, I'll plan to pulverize you completely. I want you to try. I doubt you'll be able to do it, though.
Cirrus, annoyed, would pounce on Goku and would exchange millions of blows, destroying planets and stars, but the longer it went on, Goku was able to adapt to her combat style, and Goku would dodge and block these attacks easily. Unlike Cirrus, who would receive multiple blows over the body, these blows were able to paralyze the entire internal system, now allowing her to use the energy that is able to defend herself with pure physical strength. Since she couldn't boost herself with energy, Goku, with a great speed, was able to hold one of the legs, destroying planets and stars with her body, and finally throwing it to a planet, being dragged through a few mountains.
What happened? I thought you'd have more power. Apparently your power isn't enough to face me. Don't worry, I don't plan to end your life. I just want to check 100% of your power.
Goku would turn his back to Cirrus, but as he began to move away from the whole place, everything around him would freeze, while an incredible domain would be released over the place. This time Goku felt his body paralyzed, and he wasn't able to move one of his muscles. While death was forming in Cirrus's aura, this essence emanated from her body, and was able to feel for the 18 universes, even in the realm of Zeno-sama, which would be surprised.
What kind of power is this? It's the energy Cirrus was never able to demonstrate in her training. After all, the demonic blood was true. I gotta stop it. Since Goku doesn't have the ability to cope with that power.
Daishinkan trying to leave for Universe 18, it'd be impossible since these universes were sealed by the energy of Cirrus, including the kingdom of Zeno-sama. Daishinkan and Zeno-sama could only see the fight unfolding, and Cirrus would stand up. With an incredible scream and an incredible power would be released at once, being so powerful that a sound wave would crush the entire body of Goku, making him fall to the ground.
What is this? Although it caused me damage, this pain was created for me. What kind of power is this?
Cirrus would approach everything around him was altered, and since the power of Cirrus was so much, that reality was distorting.
I'll end your existence once and for all.
The fist of Cirrus was centimeters away from hitting Goku's face. This aura was able to move it away for a few meters. That's right, Goku had decided to access a power beyond that which the beings knew.
This is my true power. I'm not able to master it in this state as my body seems to explode, so watch this and admire all my power.
Cirrus, surprised, would stare at the warrior in front of her.
Who the hell are you? I never thought that there'd be a being with power like yours, because with Daishinkan-sama, I'd restrain myself from using my demonic blood.
Goku's power would continue to rise in a great way. While multiple roars were able to be heard throughout Universe 18, Goku's appearance began to change. Since on the occasion fur would be covering his body, then a guardian saw this transformation that he was accessing and began to sweat and tremble, since it was the same transformation which humiliated them. This is the ultimate transformation! The transformation which was able to be born, because even though we used all our power, we weren't able to do anything against it.
Were you guys able to see that state of Goku? What was that?
My lord, it was when Daishinkan saved us, but the longer the battle went on, the powerful that state was lost. I don't know why, but the power he gave off, I dare to say, was more powerful than you.
Well, that's interesting. I thought Goku was going to die at the hands of Cirrus, but he's able to return by releasing a power that he never showed in our trainings. This is just what I want, being able to protect us.
Goku would continue to transition while Cirrus was amazed by the power released by Goku. After a few minutes, it was even possible to observe a great beast for the 18 universes, making each of the gods and angels tremble. Everything would return to normal, or what was believed, because in front of Cirrus, the prince of the entire Divine Kingdom was in his max power. I never thought that the 18 universes, that I would have to use 100% of my power. You're a worthy opponent. I hope you're ready.
Believe it or not, my body's shaking with excitement. I long for a battle like this. You have no idea. Attack when you want. It'll be the best battle of my life.
Both warriors stared at each other, their auras colliding, and without saying a single word, these warriors launched themselves at each other, and the battle both were having was the most destructive battle in the 18 universes and everything existing. Since even a king of all with his unlimited power wasn't able to follow the battle by not having combat capabilities. The priest like Daishinkan, however, was able to have the knowledge of the battlefield but didn't have the reserves of the king at all. And despite this, Goku, with both genetics, was able to incredibly hold Cirrus up, and his oversight with one of his arms would be scratched by the demonic blood of the unknown. But Goku, with great determination, would form an energy sword in his arm, and was able to count with his arm, giving a big smile to make Cirrus shudder.
I was able to study your combat, and I know your attacks contain toxins. Well, well, so you are observant. This battle is interesting. Goku, thanks to regeneration of an angel, would heal his arm. Starting to exchange millions of blows again, Goku's blood would be watered by each of the planets of the Universe 18. Without importance giving at the end of 4 hours, which none of the two gave up, Goku would throw a big roar out of combat, and Cirrus would cover all the wounds and would be out of combat.
The power of both we're able to demonstrate is incredible. I have to say that it would be next to the rulers of everything existing.
I agree. Since this power is incredible, we can't allow it to be other than Goku to have that power. Please, go search for Goku and then eliminate the 6 universes of greater power.
Although it seems extreme, my lord, it hurts me to know that my apprentice Cirrus will be affected by this decision. I'm sure she'll understand. We can't risk a warrior with that level appearing.
Daishinkan, with his great speed, would move through the universes, being able to reach Universe 18. Taking Goku in his arms, leaving quickly, the instant Daishinkan arrived at the Zeno-sama kingdom, an incredible power began to be felt through the palace. I, the king of all exists, decide that the universes of 13 to 18 would be destroyed. We cannot allow an imbalance of the 12 universes. Zeno-sama would throw a powerful energy, beginning to destroy all these universes, and its inhabitants with the same fate. The great sphere of energy began to arrive at Universe 18, but Cirrus, about to die from such an incredible explosion, masked as subject, was able to create a portal saving a life of the goddess Cirrus of Universe 18. We've been able to get rid of future problems, and because I'm sure if the most powerful gods agreed, they'd be able to make a revolution.
I agree, my lord, but it'll be better to worry about Goku, since his injuries are serious. Apparently this time, we'll have to rest in the Heavenly Kingdom.
It'll be best so we don't have anything happen to Cirrus or the other universes. Because of the purity of his heart, I'm sure he'll be upset with us. However, Universe 18, the blood of Son Goku, like the blood of Cirrus, began to travel over the vast universe, mixing with other universes. And from there, a powerful race called the Saiyans would be born, who would be experts on the battlefield with a body designed for combat.
I'm the first Super Saiyan God. The power is amazing. Nothing and no one's able to beat me. My power is unlimited.
And thus the legend of the Super Saiyan God would be born. Millions of years passed since Goku would be sent to the Celestial Kingdom, because Goku would return with the intention of facing Cirrus. Zeno-sama, Daishinkan, I have to heal my wounds, as well as get a new power to face Cirrus again. She's the only goddess to force me to use all my power.
Goku, I'm afraid to tell you Cirrus with the 6 most powerful universes were eliminated since you were out of combat. And in the Celestial Kingdom, Cirrus, along with the 6 gods, tried to overthrow the powerful Zeno-sama. And for that reason, they eliminated by the great Zeno-sama, since they left us no alternative.
I can't believe it! I'm sure Cirrus's heart was pure.
I understand that this will be complex to understand, but we have to give you time so you can understand everything that happened to Cirrus.
I'll leave to analyze the development of the other universes while I think about everything that happened. Don't worry, because I won't do anything that puts our universe at risk. Goku would go through the universes, thoughtful. Goku, flying aimlessly, would notice a race similar to him called the Saiyans, and he'd observe someone identical to him. Who are these guys? But who's this warrior? Since I feel a different energy in him other than all the other races of the universes. Goku would arrive to planet Vegeta, which all the soldiers would make reverence similar to that of Supreme Commander Bardock.
It's an honor to have you back, Bardock-sama. Why did you leave? We thought you were on a planet.
However, Bardock would arrive, leaving the other Saiyans surprised, while Goku and Bardock stared at each other, because on this occasion, the power of both began to rise in a great way. Goku would arrive on the planet of the Saiyans, which he would observe an identical subject to him, and this pressure was latent throughout the planet Vegeta. These warriors approached until they were face to face, with their auras colliding. Although the power of this warrior isn't compared in the slightest with the power of Cirrus, I gotta confess, I'm surprised that he's able to stand in front of me, since as I understand, these subjects are just mortals, the lowest scale in the divine world.
I don't know who the hell you are, but if you want to impersonate me, that'll be impossible. I'm the Supreme Commander of the planet, and planning to end your existence. I'm not interested in being able to adapt to the form of other warriors. You can't compare yourself to the power of the legendary Super Saiyan.
Legendary Super Saiyan? The hell do you mean? And for your information, I haven't stolen anyone's body. And for that reason, I've approached the planet. How do you have an appearance similar to me anyway?
I don't want your excuses. I'll show you real power. The power that can't be obtained only by stealing the body of your enemies. Watch. Bardock would instantly clench his fists, while multiple rays fell all around him. Goku was surprised because, in the essence of Bardock, there was little as his essence as well as his Cirrus. Bardock, after a few minutes, would access Super Saiyan God, leaving Goku, who would be surprised, and instantly access the Ultra Instinct, making a great silver aura rise above the planet, even being perceived by the deities of Universe 7. Well, this power is beyond the gods, and it surpasses the Saiyan gods, who call his transformation a legendary Super Saiyan. Without knowing that in his energy veins, he runs the definitive god of the highest rank. Hey, Whis, we must go to planet Vegeta, since we don't have the bearer of that power, and since the annihilation of the 6 multiverses, I, the ancient sacred god, had to resume my training. I don't know if my power compares to 100% of Cirrus's, since I also possess demonic blood. Beerus would instantly make some demonic blood flow over his body. Despite this being tiny, he could generate great destruction over the planet, and Beerus would stop using this energy while approaching Whis. Although it is what I hate the most about is my demonic blood, because every time I go into frenzy mode, my instincts are the ones that take over. I can't even control them. I understand, Mr. Beerus, but don't worry, because for that very reason, I'm here. I've been empowered with the energy of the Celestial Kingdom to be able to be your guardian angel. On that side, there's nothing that you have to worry about. On the planet Vegeta, everything was being destroyed. A single signal from Bardock with multiple energy matrices began to cover the surface of the planet, leaving only Goku and Bardock. I'm sorry that I made you fight outside your planet. I don't want to cause damage, because all there are innocent soldiers that couldn't stand my pressure.
Ha! I can tell you're confident, but that's gonna be your downfall.
Don't say stupid things. I'm not even able to understand the transformation you can get. It doesn't even compare to my legendary Super Saiyan power, though.
What if you think we check it out? Because if you don't believe it, my body's gonna start to shake, and I already want to check the power that you brag about so much. So come on, attack me! Bardock with a smile would pounce against Goku, thinking it was just another weakling, but to his surprise, Goku stopped Bardock's onslaught with a gaze. Goku's Ultra Instinct was more powerful than before, and Bardock couldn't move in the slightest. Goku would approach Bardock. What happened? I thought you were more powerful. You can't even free yourself from my visual power. Ha! You're not worthy to fight me.
What is this power? Why can't I move? This guy's really more powerful than me. But that doesn't explain our kinship.
I really want to fight, so I'll decrease my pressure just a little more so you can attack me. I hope you're powerful enough to give me some sort of battle. Goku would decrease his pressure, so Bardock would manage to move. But he would take distance, going through multiple emotions of anger, disappointment, and terror. He didn't know what he was feeling, since he was never humiliated that way before, and he didn't know how to proceed with this warrior in front of him.
I never thought that a being that looks like me could have that power. This time I can't hide my true power. Watch this!
Bardock would clench his fists, while a large amount of divine power began to flow throughout his body. Bardock this time would access Super Saiyan Blue maximum power, and this power that Bardock would release would be perceived by the entire Universe 7.
Apparently the guy Bardock's facing is powerful enough to make him use all his power. Who is this guy?
I'm even intrigued, Mr. Beerus. Bardock's only used 100% with you, and although your battle was very even, you could beat him by very little. From that day, you decided to train so no mortal would be able to surpass you.
You're right. I don't always wish to resort to demonic power. I'm sure that in that case, using demonic power, I would have ended Bardock's life.
That is obvious, Mr. Beerus. In that state, you couldn't control yourself. Whis together with Beerus would continue with great speed towards the battle. Bardock would access all his power, with which a great determination would pounce against Goku. Both began to exchange thousands of blows on the battlefield. Despite the fact that Bardock was taking his body to the limit, he couldn't do anything against Goku, who would just be playing with Bardock. All the other Saiyans were surprised because the best warrior on the whole planet was treated like a child.
Bardock, despite being with his guard up, was not able to dodge a big grab by Goku, and with his speed would fly towards a nearby planet, crushing Bardock on the planet, generating damage all over his body. Because this time Bardock's body was expelling blood all over the place, Goku would leave him stranded on the planet.
After all, you couldn't force me to use more power, and I restrained myself with the Ultra Instinct. You couldn't do anything against me, so die.
Goku, with a colder heart, as well as his personality, would carry a great attack with his palms, and he would plan to end Bardock's life, thinking twice to throw this incredible attack. Bardock watched as that attack approached him, and he was not able to do anything because his body was destroyed.
I always rejoiced to be the most powerful warrior of the Universe 7. I even came close to beating the god Beerus, but this warrior has no point for comparison.
Bardock would accept his fate, but the attack of being about to collide would be deflected with great ease and would leave Goku surprised, taking a distance from the explosion. A big curtain of dust would observe Beerus.
I don't know who the hell you are, but I can tell your appearance is identical to that guy's. I can't tell you can end his life, since the Saiyans are under my care, and we know the origin of the divine vein.
Well, if it's the god of destruction in front of me. Interesting. I have millions of years since I have faced a god. Last time I faced a god as a destruction was Cirrus, and it was the best battle of my life.
Whis and Beerus would be surprised to know that the guy in front of him would face Cirrus, because Beerus, without trusting in the slightest, would access all his power, and this time it was overwhelming, and would make Bardock tremble. Since the last time they had battle, his power increased incredibly. Apparently, Mr. Beerus is planning to go all out from the beginning, and it's understandable because the guy in front of us could fight Cirrus. That means his power is incredible.
This is all my power, of the most powerful god of the 12 universes. I hope you're ready.
I must confess, you got good power, but you don't even hold a candle to Cirrus.
Beerus, a little irritated, would throw himself against Goku, but with his Ultra Instinct dodged all the punches. Goku would start attacking and be surprised to realize how Beerus would dodge most of his punches, and Goku would take a bit of a distance to completely analyze Beerus.
I'm surprised you could dodge me. You possess the Ultra Instinct, or do you have demonic blood?
I don't get what power it is, but it's the only option that Cirrus used to face me. The wonder of the deities would grow even more.
There's no doubt this guy faced Cirrus millions of years ago, and he even knows the existence of demonic blood. But not all gods possess it, since most of them consider it cursed.
Mr. Beerus, feel free to go all out, and apparently the warrior in front of us is a universal threat. Don't hold back, Mr. Beerus.
So you've been holding back this whole time, huh? If you don't use your demonic blood because of the fact you get out of control, then you don't have nothing to worry about. I have the power to repel you. I've been training this whole time to face Cirrus, and her universe along with her has been eliminated.
Beerus, without saying a word, would expel his power of the demonic blood, causing everything around him to change. And this would instantly create a powerful barrier in Universe 7 with the intensity of the deities of Zeno-sama's palace to not feel the essence of the demonic blood. Beerus would release the power similar to Cirrus's, and Goku's gaze would change to enthusiasm, hoping that Beerus would go all out.
Use all your energy reserves. I'll be one of the best battles I'll have, although I doubt you can compare to the battle I had against Cirrus.
Beerus, without saying anything, would release all his power, and after a few minutes, an explosion of energy would be seen with Beerus, who hadn't changed physically, but everything around him was destroyed by his aura.
This is all my power of the demonic blood, and of course there are the gods with greater affinity, but this is the affinity that I can control.
Well, I gotta confess, your power's amazing. I don't doubt that you can do anything against me, though, since your power's below Cirrus.
And although Goku wasn't finished speaking, he got a blow to the jaw, sending him to the planet, destroying it, because the physical strength of Beerus increased greatly. It doesn't matter the power of Cirrus-sama, it's superior to the power of Beerus. Due to being a woman, her prowess on the battle does not compare to Lord Beerus's. And although if we had compared destructive attacks, Cirrus surpassed him, but never in hand-to-hand combat as they will do now. Goku would get up and with an incredible aura would soar all around him.
This battle's gonna be fun, since your power is lower than Cirrus's, but your movements are more polished.
Goku would pounce on Beerus, and both warriors would begin to fight. One of the god of the destruction of the Universe 7, while another was birthing the Saiyan race. They exchanged millions of blows with bursts of energy. However, as the battle went on, more danger was stalking them. That's right, Cirrus was watching the battle while her warrior would put her hand on her shoulder.
Cirrus, because of the warrior of your universe was destroyed by the power of this great force to use the demonic blood, which gives you the power beyond your limits, Zeno-sama decided to eradicate the most outstanding gods with that blood. I won't forgive him. I want him to know how much Beerus has improved, since he's always wanted to compare himself to me. I'll always be able to surpass him, although, of course, in hand-to-hand combat he is better, but currently I can humiliate him with only just one of my arms. I think that it's great that you have this confidence, Cirrus. It doesn't take long to end all those people. As you know, millions of years ago, I also eliminated by a relative of Zeno-sama's bastard self, and they would see us as a threat as they eliminate us. Goku, I plan to make you suffer in every possible way. So you are the supposed perfect creation of my master Daishinkan and the useless Zeno-sama, but I'll show you how effort of capable to defeat talent.
On the battlefield, Goku and Beerus would continue with their battle, but they would stare at each other, while they took in with their body the limit to transformation that they were at. The power of both warriors would grow incredibly. This time, the whole universe would shake. Due to the barrier Whis previously placed, the deities of Zeno-sama's palace weren't able to feel the power of Goku, much less the power of the demonic blood of Beerus. At the prudent distance, a dark portal would be created, and Cirrus and the warrior would be rescued her before being eliminated by Zeno-sama.
Master, I want to finish all those bastards. I gotta confess, I'm surprised by the pathetic Beerus that he's able to give Goku a battle. His power is incredible. I want to destroy him, knowing that the creation of those bastards.
Cirrus, a part of me also longed to end the creation of those bastards. I'll tell you what though, it's Goku's fault who's being created by them, or was it Goku's fault his father destroyed the 6 most powerful universes?
I definitely don't know, Master. I want to know the beings of the Divine Kingdom to suffer, just as I did in my people. They were not to blame for anything. They were only destroyed by a whim of that good-for-nothing dwarf.
From that behavior, I've been able to analyze. The warrior Goku has a pure heart, and in that heart, it was much colder because he created both warriors. I'm sure that if we tell him what happened, that warrior will join us, and that would cause more damage to the dwarf.
That's a great idea. I really doubt that Goku wants to join us, but it doesn't matter. Those bastards destroyed our universes. They are their creators. And in that case, if he refuses, I'll end his life.
I agree with you, Cirrus, because in this case, he will not be able to punish the Divine Kingdom with severity and a fair hand. He does not deserve to be a ruler. We have to end his life completely. It'll be better to watch how his combat unfolds. In the battlefield, Beerus, despite using his power, couldn't give Goku battle, who would be using the perfect Ultra Instinct. Due to this, a large draft of air would make him retreat. Goku's body released more power that was able to generate panic.
Well, that's surprising. I didn't see this power releasing. I would be able to defeat an ordinary angel, though the Supreme Archangel would be complex to overcome all that power by fighting cleanly. You managed to give me a little release more of my power. I'm surprised at the dexterity you have. I gotta confess that Cirrus had more power, and I got tired of playing with you. In the next move, I'll end this.
Don't even think that I'll let myself be defeated so easily. Not much that you idolize Cirrus. She and I possess demonic blood, and her power from mine is not so far away.
I doubt that, and because of that, I want you to prove to me that incredible power you possess. I want you to be able to give me more battle than Cirrus could.
Beerus, irritated, would pounce against Goku, though Whis warned him not to attack. On this occasion, Beerus was furious, not thinking clearly, and because of this, Goku would let one of his vital points be discovered, making him fall to the planet. Beerus, upset, would try to stand, but would vomit blood, and forcing his body much more, he was able to lash out against Goku. His astonishment was evident, realizing that the hand of Goku was in front of him.
I warned you! The next move, the combat's gonna end!
Beerus wasn't able to do anything, but a large sphere began to be created in Goku's palm. Whis, from his blind spot, would try to attack him, but Goku's reflexes were faster than Whis's, and he would manage to dodge his blow.
Well, so an angel attacking from behind. Yeah, that I didn't see coming. Angels are supposed to be impeccable beings. An attack from the front, but apparently even among the angels there's scum like you. I can't justify myself, you are right. We attack from the front. Your power is higher than an angel. I won't be able to defeat you if I fight cleanly. Whis at that moment with his staff would release poison over the battlefield with the intention of getting into Goku's system while the battle was going on. Goku released a great golden aura, making those toxins that Whis released eliminated. I knew you couldn't fight cleanly, since you put up that barrier, which was capable of boosting you by 15%, it doesn't seem that much. But for divine beings' energy, their powers are amazing. 15% is an incredible extra in their power. That does surprise me. No being apart from the angels are able to realize the divine technique of the gods and angels. You are definitely a dangerous warrior, and since you have the knowledge beyond a mere mortal, that mere reason I have to end your life right now. Ho! So you'll end my life. That's interesting, because that's the same thing that miserable good-for-nothing god told me. I can't do anything against me. Let me tell you one thing, Mr. Beerus is the most powerful god among the 12 universes. I'm the super angel known as the Archangel, and his guardian and protector. I got to be more powerful than my god. That's funny, because you're telling me that, and you're telling me to understand that your power is 10 times greater than that of a god. I won't know until I'm able to fight you, so get ready, Archangel Good-for-Nothing. The aura of both began to collide, where Whis would be the first to perform his movement with the help of the staff, making a giant sphere of energy. And he would intend to leave him without vision, because the sphere would be close to Goku, exploding, creating a big bright light. Whis, with his incredible speed, would attack him, and Goku couldn't see anything. Whis would try to attack, and Goku in the same place, with Whis not being able to say anything, a powerful blow of Goku sent him flying. Goku wouldn't stop there. He would teleport behind Whis, give him a blow to the stomach, so brutal that it would send him to the planet, destroying everything in its entirety, due to this power. Well, I didn't expect that. I thought by calling you a Supreme Archangel, your power would be more destructive. Apparently you're still good for nothing. From the crater, a silver aura would rise. Whis released his power, and Beerus would be surprised to feel the essence released.
So that's all the power of an Archangel. The only one that's able to compare himself in battle is Daishinkan, the only being able to control me when I activated all my demonic blood.
In Zeno-sama's kingdom, Daishinkan would arrive to his king.
Tell me, Lord, what's happening that you need my presence?
I want to know Goku and what he's doing. There's no danger I sense in the universes. I just feel something's wrong and I want to know what's happening.
Of course, my lord, I'll see this moment.
Daishinkan with his great power would observe from the form of sphere everything that was happening in Universe 7, being able to see how Goku was exploring the planet of the Saiyans, but this was an illusion. Because of Whis' barrier, all the warriors who would try to see what was happening in the universe would only see what his brain longed to see.
Well, apparently Goku's having a great time, since it seems like he's making acquaintances with the same warrior race as him. Of course, Goku's more powerful. He was the one who gave rise to the Saiyans.
I agree with you, my lord. Even there are Saiyans that are compared to the power of a god or an angel, Goku will always be able to overcome them, because the power of both runs through his veins, and there's nothing to fear.
Seeing that Goku's fine, I can relax more. Since something intrigued me too much, I thought that something was happening.
My lord, with respect you deserve, it's impossible to be a being of divine energy, being able to face you. Goku's power is incomparable.
I know, Daishinkan. There's just something I keep liking.
In Universe 7, the battle began to lean much more in favor of Goku, because despite Whis possessing Ultra Instinct, he could have dodged the blows of Goku, and he had the knowledge of the great Daishinkan, connecting some extremely powerful blows, which after a few minutes managed to blend Whis completely. As he would fall to one of the sides of Beerus, his whole body began to expel large amounts of blood.
This can't be happening. It's said that the Archangel Whis could only be defeated by Daishinkan, but he's been defeated by a mortal. Goku would approach the completely defeated deities, where Goku would inform them,
I am not a mere mortal. I'm the beginning and the end. I'm the warrior who gave rise to this race, but you've calmed my desire to fight.
Goku would completely turn his back on them and would not see anything. A flash managed to connect a brutal blow to his stomach, sending him flying to the planet, destroying everything in his path.
What happened? He hasn't been able to see anything. It seems that there's an opposing warrior sending him to fly.
That's impossible, my lord. Since I was defeated, who else besides Daishinkan's high priest would be able to give battle to him? But Whis and Beerus felt the terror. In the Universe 7, death would be expressed, and on the whole universe, slaughter and death were released. So much so that on this occasion, Whis and Beerus felt like their end was approaching. What is this pressure? Since even while fighting that Saiyan, he wasn't able to emanate such pressure, who is the owner of this power? A roar would be heard from the planet. Goku, where he was sent to fly, would difficultly stand up, wiping his mouth. Who's the bastard that attacked me? I hope that he's ready to get his life ended. This lack of respect I will not let pass. A silhouette wrapped in shadows would prostrate himself in front of Goku. Without completely saying anything, Goku would be waiting for an answer while not getting anything, and he would be irritated, trying to attack the entity, but it was not able to connect a blow, which would make him even more angry, since they were mocking him. Who the hell do you think you are? I don't even think Daishinkan would treat me that way, much less you, a mere mortal. To the amazement of Whis and Beerus, it would grow much more that the warrior whom they fought knew Daishinkan. That guy mentioned my father. It's impossible for a mortal to know about the existence of Daishinkan and Zeno-sama. Who is this guy?
I really don't know, Whis, but this is bad, because that entity that just arrived is evil and it'll end our existence.
Goku would try to attack, but that entity would stop his blow without effort, while those shadows began to fade, allowing him to observe Cirrus.
What? This is impossible. How can you see that Cirrus is alive?
This is beneficial for us, Mr. Beerus, because you and I unite with Cirrus to be able to defeat that Saiyan. To the amazement of Whis and Beerus, they heard Goku's laugh. But if you're serious, I'm sorry, I don't remember the energy was like. I gotta confess, that blow you gave me caused me damage. I knew you hadn't died. It's impossible for you and the other gods to try revolution. Revolution? What are you talking about, Goku? That's right, Daishinkan and Zeno-sama explained to me that they tried to finish the 6 most powerful universes, since their gods were well with their inhabitants trying to overthrow the beings of that palace of Zeno-sama. Behind Cirrus, a new warrior would appear. It'd be seen on his face how upset he was. Without being able to contain himself, he would release great power.
I'm Sorat! What are you trying to do in this revolution? You good-for-nothing worm, I was almost destroyed by the beginning of time, since my existence did not suit that dwarf.
The pressure had been released by the master of Cirrus named Sorat, even almost ended the lives of Whis and Beerus, who were the weakest subjects in the place.
I don't know if you know me. These guys you idolize so much, they end up with the beings they consider dangerous in the future. So even though you're their creation, I'm sure that in that moment, they'll be able to end you.
Goku, after our battle, I wasn't able to move, but Zeno-sama began to eliminate all 6 universes. But because I was in such a terrible condition, I wasn't able to do anything. This saved me, since he went through something similar. I really can't believe they're telling me, since what they're telling me is something different. Don't worry, if they ended the 6 universes in innocent lives, I, as the Prince of the Divine Kingdom, will end them. I am surprised by the determination you have, Goku. It makes me give you pity that you found out this way. No, serious, thank you. I never quite believed what they told me. Goku would clench his fists, his hair would turn white, and anger would grow greatly. Goku's power grew amazingly. In that time, all the barriers around him were destroyed, and his power would be seen through the kingdom of Zeno-sama, making the palace shake. What's going on? This is the power of Goku, but he's increasing his power at these scales. No god or angel has the power to do something, but something has to be done. Daishinkan would appear in front of Zeno-sama and his guardians.
My lord, something bad's happening in Universe 7. I want you to see, as it's something that I can't even believe.
Daishinkan with his power would make a great sphere and showing what would be seen. Observing Goku raising his powers incredibly, and the face of Zeno would completely change, to realize how next to him was Cirrus and Sorat, a warrior who existed for millions of years.
By his expression, we can recognize Cirrus and Sorat. Both were eliminated by their universes, surpassing an ordinary god. If they're next to Goku, they could cause a great inner warrior.
I know. Although killing our creation Goku's the last thing I want to do, if he joins them, he'll leave me no choice.
I'll have to use the power of the hells of the 12 universes.
Instantly, hundreds of skulls as well as a great door of the underworld could be seen by the 12 universes, seen by the inhabitants of these universes, but all that negative power would enter the body of Zeno-sama, and everything around him would begin to enter his body, and he began to access his combat form. The negative power he expressed in that transformation was incredible. Despite millions of kilometers, the power Zeno-sama had and Goku were colliding, because on this occasion, Goku's power broke limits, and it was compared to an authentic king of the whole.
This will be interesting. Even though that we have the support of Goku, the power of that dwarf increased greatly. He was able to use the 12 hells of the 12 universes. Damn it.
He's the 12 Master Hells? Is that possible? So I had only the god of death to be able to resort to the power of the 12 hells. But Zeno-sama, despite everything he's done, he is still being a light. He doesn't possess the essence of death.
Cirrus, I want you to know that in this time idolized Zeno-sama Daishinkan. In that creation of everything, Zeno-sama was blessed with the power of all, and it was birthing everything. Zeno-sama is also the first god of death of the entire multiverse.
Cirrus would be surprised by this clarification.
The one you idolize as a noble being, as I've told you in the 24 previous universes, I'm sure there are even more.
Their conversation would be interrupted as an explosion would be seen. Goku would reach his limit of his power, and there were celestial marks on his body. Marks of a divine being of the highest level. Marks that would leave Sorat surprised.
Really, the creation of those bastards at the end of the Reign of Evil. We have the advantage. Goku was able to release his celestial marks, and it gave him incredible power on the battlefield.
Even though they're my creators, they were able to raise me with the mentality that I would be the new king of the 12 universes. I can't allow people to be eliminated no matter what. I'll stop them.
A great roar would be heard over the 12 universes. Zeno-sama and everything around him would darken with this new evil energy. Zeno-sama would absorb the power of the 12 owls, and the power in his body were destroying multiple planets of the 12 universes. A great look of power could be seen from him.
Daishinkan, you better be ready. This time, we're gonna end this once and for all. I have no plans to let those wretches manipulate Goku.
But my lord, Goku's already releasing those powers. His essence is able to fill this planet. That means that he has plans to finish us, and he wants to annihilate us.
If that was the case, we'd have no alternative but to finish him. And Daishinkan, I want you to merge with my guardians to get as much power as you can.
Of course, my lord. Although I've likened Goku, we can't allow him to finish us.
Daishinkan would absorb Zeno-sama's guardians, and power would increase likewise to an amazing level, and everything around him would shudder.
Daishinkan, being a gifted angel, will be able to master the power of the guardians. I'm sure that with that miserable Sorat, and he would come to face me.
Daishinkan would expel his power, generating a huge explosion, destroying planets that were close to him, and his body released a power beyond a high priest.
I'm sorry, Goku. We have to end your life once and for all. Since you can become a threat to all of us, we will eradicate you.
Well said. I don't know what the hell's going on through his mind, but it's been the worst.
Both deities with great speed approached Universe 7. Being the most powerful deities of the 12 universes, they arrived in a few minutes. The instant they arrived, everything around them would be filled with multiple lightning bolts, since the power they released was madness. Zeno-sama would appear between the great curtain of dust and lightning.
No long time no see, Sorat and Cirrus. I don't know how the hell they were able to survive my universe removal technique, but they amaze me. So it's true what Cirrus told me. I have a question. Why did you do it? You've always been my role model. What made you do this? I really don't want to exterminate you, Goku. You being the most powerful being of the 12 universes, we can't allow you to be equal to my power. And for that reason, the gods and mortals stand out among the others. We eliminate all their universes without a trace.
Zeno-sama's right. We longed for an entire reign of millions of years to have a worthy successor, and for that reason, we decided to create you. Apparently, it's been the worst decision we've made.
I can't believe it. I always thought that all the beings had the same possibilities to become more powerful. While a being becomes more powerful, what you do is discarded completely. It means that if I become more powerful, you're gonna end my life. You're wrong. Because if you haven't had that mentality, we won't have a reason to end your life. That mentality you have, it leaves us no choice. At this moment, we have to end you.
Although I have a great affection for you, I can't let you finish us. If we recover all the power we invested in you, we could create a being with our ideals.
That's what I've told you, Goku. These bastards feel they no longer are useful as they discard you for a piece of garbage. For that reason, we gotta put an end to this.
Goku, you're not alone. I plan to end your life, but as far as I'm able to see, you were deceived by these bastards.
Well, those words were hurtful, and that you think of me after training for millions of years, you're nothing but ungrateful.
I appreciate your teachings, but I know our true ideals are for the sake of the 12 universes. Today, only one side will come out alive. I agree with you, Cirrus. It's a pity that we don't plan to be eliminated by a simple worm good for nothing. Master, I want to face Daishinkan, because even though he was the one who taught me the whole basis of my combat style, I can't believe I was able to generate so much damage to the 12 universes.
Don't worry, I want to fight Sorat. I'll defeat you in one move, since you're a girl who doesn't have any power.
Cirrus would be trying to do something, but she would be sent flying with an overwhelming power, destroying the planet she had been sent flying on.
It's time to fight, Sorat. I remember that you're gifted of the 12 universes, but even said your power is more amazing than the power of a priest. I'm gonna end your damn existence. Ha! Don't make me laugh. You think Cirrus will be defeated in one fell swoop? You're deluded as power as Cirrus is amazing. You better get ready. Apparently, one who's really underestimating my power is you. The power I possess is capable of ending Cirrus's life with one blow, and I managed to inject a lot of destructive energy in that blow, my energy being more powerful than Cirrus's. Her body will be destroyed from within.
Sorat wanted a surprise to realize that Cirrus couldn't stand due to the effort, and was knocked out with the whole interior being slowly destroyed.
As I said, we don't know how we could survive the great Zeno-sama's technique, but it'll be the last day of their life. Damn good for nothing. I can't believe you don't have any remorse for your apprentice. I, Sorat, will end your pathetic existence.
Sorat would expel all his power, while great roars would be heard through the 12 universes. Zeno and Goku, on the other hand, approached face to face, and Zeno would stretch out one of his hands.
It's the last chance I give you. Give up and end this life of Cirrus and come back to the palace. None of this had to happen. If you have the celestial marks, you will not be able to end the life of your creator. No, Father. Even you and Daishinkan were my creators. I can't let them end the lives of innocent people. And if it costs my life, I won't let you get away with it. I know that would be your answer. I really wanted to try. You're my first creation, but I have many more creations. So die.
Zeno would lash out against Goku. Father and son, battle to the death. Victor of this battle would be the leader of the 12 universes and would be able to make him resurface or be destroyed. The battle was in Goku's favor. Though Zeno had much more power, he didn't have the required knowledge on the battlefield, and Goku would take advantage of this. Even though while they were in battle, Goku's body would begin to suffer the side effects of the power beyond a king at all. With the celestial marks being amazing in power, they were capable of ending the wearer's life if he didn't have a gifted body.
My body's completely destroying itself. I even feel like my whole soul is disintegrating. But to die for all the 12 universes is dignified. I should have never existed from the beginning, and I plan to die in this battle.
Goku would expel more power, and too much blood would be released. Zeno's laughter would resonate through the universes.
I thought that Daishinkan granted you the knowledge of the battles. You're just good enough for nothing. If you continue to raise your power, you'll only get to die much faster. Apparently this imbecile is something else. I plan to end your life, but a creation of yours, I'll corrupt the new reign. For that reason, I plan to die next to you and Daishinkan.
Zeno-sama wanted to be surprised, but he was not able to react before an incredible blow which would be able to completely penetrate him, generating incredible damage. Being a king at all, it wasn't enough to end his life.
It's time to end all this, which would never have started. Sorat, I apologize. I want you and Cirrus to be able to turn to the 12 universes as a prosperous place.
What the hell are you saying? Zeno-sama's injured. You won't die.
Goku with a slight blow would send Sora flying to the side of Cirrus and the deities of Universe 7, while he was able to seriously injure Daishinkan. It's time for the three of us to be destroyed. Goku would lock himself up next to Daishinkan and Zeno-sama, rising his power to the highest level. Though Daishinkan and Zeno-sama beat Goku, they couldn't prevent Goku from raising his power. After a few minutes, an explosion would destroy Goku's barrier, spreading through Universe 7. That warrior, he's worthy to be a ruler, but as his last wish, we will be the new rulers. From now on, if there's any corruption of the gods or angels, we'll have to account for us. Sora, with his great power, would heal the wounds of Beerus and Whis, while the communion of the new king at all would spread through the deities of the universes.
We understand Sora-sama. We are to follow him to infinity.
And that's how Sora and Cirrus would be the new rulers of the 12 universes, while Goku had been part of nothing with their creators. At the precise moment that both Saiyan warriors, the shadow creatures, collided their attacks, the explosion resulting from the collision of the attacks left a crater on the battlefield, while a dense smoke obscured the view. Amidst the haze, Goku with a serious but confident expression, and Vegeta, also with a confident expression of having destroyed the shadow creatures with his attacks, stood on guard, ready to face whatever emerged from this smoke. Suddenly, as soon as the smoke dissipated from the battlefield, the shadowy creatures emerged unharmed, floating in the air with an even more intense presence. Their forms twisted, revealing an even darker and more powerful transformation. Now, with eyes glowing with a more intense light, the shadow creatures uttered a great malevolent laugh and moved towards Goku and Vegeta with renowned ferocity. The sky was covered with dark clouds, and lightning intermittently illuminated the scene. The creatures, once scattered, began to converge into a chaotic mass. Their bodies intertwined and merged, creating a monstrous entity that emanated a dark and malevolent aura. The fusion of the creatures was completed with a loud roar, and before Goku and Vegeta emerged, a nightmarish creature. The fused creature had a grotesque figure, with twisted limbs and glowing eyes filled with evil. Its body was enveloped in a halo of dark energy, which distorted the space around it. The ground shook with every step he took, and the waves of evil energy generated chaos on the battlefield. Goku and Vegeta exchanged determined glances. They knew they faced an unprecedented threat. The fusion of the creatures had given rise to a being of incredible power and speed. Goku frowned, clenching his fists, while Vegeta gave a cocky grin. Kakarot, looks like things have become interesting. I didn't expect to have to face something like this. Yes, Vegeta, this creature's no joke. We're gonna have to give it our all. Both warriors raised their ki to the maximum, surrounding themselves with an intense golden and blue aura. Their hair stood on end and the earth trembled under the pressure of their combined power. The fused creature responded with a guttural laugh and advanced towards them with great strides. Come on, Vegeta, let's attack together and put an end to this! For once, Kakarot, I agree. The battle reached its climax as Goku and Vegeta, enveloped in their golden and blue auras, launched themselves towards the fused creature. Every punch and burst of energy echoed through the air, creating a spectacle of flashes and booms. The creature, however, was not easy to defeat. Its agility and strength were astounding, dodging the Saiyans' attacks with ease. Vegeta, we need to find an opening in its defense! Focus! I know, Kakarot, but this thing's fast! The fused creature responded with a ripping attack, sending the Saiyans flying across the battlefield. Goku and Vegeta, however, quickly recovered and stood up with renewed determination. We can't underestimate this thing! Come on, Vegeta! Let's attack together! Alright, Kakarot. Together we'll defeat it! Goku nodded and they concentrated their energies into an amazing combined attack. A brilliant flash of light and blue light materialized in their hands, growing with each second. The fused creature, seeing the imminent threat, tried to counterattack, but it was too late. Kame! Final Flash! The powerful beam of combined energy shot towards the fused creature, illuminating the dark battle with its radiance. However, just when impact seemed inevitable, the creature, in the last act of desperation, deployed a dark shield that managed to resist the Saiyans' assault. The result explosion sent Goku and Vegeta flying backwards, returning them to their base form, leaving them dazed and severely injured on the ground. The fused creature, though weakened, struggled to its feet, its malevolent aura flickering, but far from fading completely.
Vegeta, we're in trouble. This thing's stronger than we thought.
Vegeta, however, lay motionless on the ground with visible wounds and his aura rapidly diminishing.
Vegeta! Don't give up, Vegeta!
The fused creature, slowly recovering, calmly approached towards Vegeta with a palpable malevolence in its glowing eyes.
Your efforts are futile. I'm the amalgam of darkness itself. This is the end of you, Saiyan Prince.
Goku, full of rage and despair, stood up and threw himself towards the creature with what was left of his strength. However, the creature, with a simple wave of its hand, unleashed a wave of dark energy that enveloped Kakarot and threw him violently to the ground.
Vegeta, we need a plan.
The fused creature approached Vegeta, lifting him off the ground with one hand. The Saiyan Prince, barely conscious, opened his eyes to meet the cold, merciless gaze of his energy.
Kakarot, do whatever it takes.
The fused creature, with a contemptuous gesture, threw Vegeta back to the ground, leaving him on the verge of death. The battle, which had begun with hope, now became bleaker than ever. With his partner down and his own strength waning, Kakarot faced a strength that seemed insurmountable. Goku, sensing the desperation of the situation, recalled the hermit seeds he carried with him. The moment the fused creature came speeding towards him, Goku managed to dodge the blow swiftly, approached Vegeta and handed him one of the valuable seeds.
Vegeta, eat this! It'll give you the energy to keep fighting!
At the same time, Goku also consumed one of the seeds. Vegeta, barely conscious, accepted the seed and consumed it urgently. The hermit seed acted quickly, healing Vegeta's wounds and restoring his life energy. Flashes of golden light surrounded the Saiyan Prince as he stood up, his eyes regaining determination.
Kakarot, don't underestimate me. I can keep fighting.
Fine, Vegeta, but we need something else to defeat this creature. Do you remember the fusion technique?
Vegeta frowned but nodded in understanding. Both Saiyans positioned themselves in front of the fused creature, focusing their energies.
Vegeta, let's do it! Let's merge!
I don't think it'll come to this, Kakarot, but I have no choice.
Both warriors stood side by side, raising their hands into the front and began to concentrate their energies. The atmosphere was filled with a brilliant glow as the two Saiyans merged into a single entity. The resulting figure was a perfect combination of Goku and Vegeta, with a powerful golden aura enveloping their fused bodies. This fusion creature showed signs of unease as it witnessed the transformation. The new Saiyan entity turned to it with a determined look. The fusion between Goku and Vegeta, known as Gogeta, and his Super Saiyan form was now evident. Gogeta, with the combined voice of Goku and Vegeta, said, "Prepare for defeat. We're the fusion of the Saiyans, there's nothing we cannot overcome." With a unified shout, the Saiyan fusion lunged towards the fused creature with incredible speed and power. The battle between the Saiyan fusion and the fused creature erupted into a frenzy of power and skill. Every move, every blow, every burst of energy shook the battlefield. The earth trembled under the intensity of the confrontation, and the sky lit up with the sparks of energy released during the fight. Gogeta, with the combination of Goku's cunning and Vegeta's determination, proved to be an unstoppable force. However, the fused creature did not yield easily, showing a resilience that defied expectations. Both contenders were at a stalemate, each pushing their limits to the max. Goku and Vegeta, in their fused form, began to feel the need to unleash more power to overcome their more formidable foe. In a moment of perfect synchronization, both Saiyans raised their ki to the limit, and the atmosphere itself began to be distorted with the built-up pressure.
It's time to take this to the next level!
In a dazzling flash, the Saiyan fusion underwent an astonishing metamorphosis. His once golden hair now turned sapphire blue, and his aura took on a heavenly hue. The transformation to Super Saiyan Blue had taken place. The fused creature recoiled momentarily as it witnessed the new form. Shocked by the magnitude of the power unleashed, however, the Saiyan fusion showed no mercy and lunged towards with dizzying speed.
Prepare for true Saiyan strength!
The attacks and counterattacks reached a speed that defied perception. The fused creature, despite its previous endurance, was outmatched by the speed and aggressiveness of the Saiyan fusion in its Super Saiyan Blue form. The battle had not yet come to an end. In a final attempt to resist, the fused creature unleashed its own dark power, enveloping the Saiyan fusion in a spiral of chaotic energy. Gogeta, in response, concentrated his energy to the maximum in an act of rage.
Let's go farther!
The energy surrounding the Saiyan fusion intensified and exploded in a dazzling burst. The bright blue aura became more intense, and the power of the Saiyan fusion increased to unimaginable levels. The sky lit up with glows and waves of energy as the fused creature faced Gogeta's unstoppable strength. However, in an unexpected twist, the creature began to build up a dark and sinister energy, revealing a hidden power.
Your resistance is impressive, Saiyans, but you have not seen my true potential.
The fused creature transformed, its fusion distorting further. A black aura filled with malevolence surrounded its body as its eyes glowed with terrifying intensity.
What the hell is it doing?
The fused creature, now imbued with a new dark power, lunged at Gogeta with surprising speed. Despite Gogeta's formidable strength in his Super Saiyan Blue form, the fused creature seemed to be able to anticipate even more.
Now you'll experience true darkness.
Gogeta sensed the threat, deciding to take his own power to the extreme. In a blink of an eye, he activated the technique, the Kaio-ken. His blue aura multiplied into a mixture of blue and red, and the intensity of the battle reached levels never seen before.
It's time to put an end to this! Kaio-ken!
Gogeta's speed and strength multiplied exponentially, and the fused creature was momentarily caught off guard. However, the creature counterattacked with a blast of dark energy that enveloped Gogeta, but he struggled to resist. Gogeta, in his Kaio-ken state, felt the need to raise his power even higher. Thus, his ki increased, causing the earth to tremble from such immense power, destroying mountains and lifting rocks into the skies. At that precise moment, he disappeared from the sight of the fused creature, appearing from behind and creating a glowing bluish sphere of energy that materialized between his hands.
Final Kamehameha!
The energy sphere impacted against the fused creature with unparalleled force. The resulting explosion lit up the sky, dispersed the creature's dark energy. However, when the light faded, the fused creature emerged once again, albeit visibly weakened.
Do not underestimate my power, Saiyans. I have attained a form beyond your comprehension.
Gogeta, sensing the gravity of the situation, prepared for the next confrontation. The battle, far from over, was entering even more dangerous terrain, with the fate of the universe hanging in the balance in this fierce struggle between light and darkness. The battlefield was plunged into utter chaos, with destructive shockwaves reverberating throughout space. Gogeta, with his combined aura of Super Saiyan Blue and Kaio-ken, was moving at speeds that defied perception. The fused creature, despite his new enhanced form, was momentarily outmatched by the Saiyan warrior's speed.
Darkness cannot defeat light! It's time to seal your fate!
Though weakened, the fused creature did not give up. With impressive speed, it lunged towards Gogeta, unleashing a series of dark attacks that even defied the Kaio-ken's speed.
Your light is but a fleeting glimmer. In the eternity of darkness, you will suffer.
Gogeta, with sharp reflexes at precise moments, will dodge the fused creature's attacks. The battle reached an even greater frenzy, with a clash of fists and kicks creating waves of energy that swept the surrounding landscape. The once dark and stormy sky were illuminated by the flashes on the contest. In the beginning of the moment of opportunity, Gogeta channeled the Kaio-ken to an even higher level. His aura became more intense, mixing blue with red in a dazzling display. Seeing the new burst of power, the fused creature recoiled momentarily, a moment Gogeta took advantage of to gather energy.
This is the limit of your darkness. Prepare for the end.
Gogeta, with unmatched speed, appeared in front of the fused creature, concentrating his energy to a single point. A glowing sphere of energy formed between his hands, but this time, the sphere was not blue, it was a mixture of colors. A fusion of the power of Super Saiyan Blue and Kaio-ken.
Kaio-ken 20 times! Final Kamehameha!
The now larger, more powerful energy sphere hurled with impressive speed towards the fused creature. The resulting explosion illuminated the entire horizon, causing the mountains and valleys to be enveloped in a dazzling glow. When the light faded, the fused creature lay defeated on the ground, Stargora completely dissipated. Gogeta, with his Super Saiyan Blue form and Kaio-ken still activated, watched cautiously. The intense battle had come to an end, but the price of the confrontation was reflected in the devastated Earth and the wear and tear visible on the Saiyan warrior.
I hope that was enough. This universe can't take any more of this destruction.
With a flash, Gogeta deactivated the Kaio-ken and returned to his base form. As silence descended over the battlefield, the lingering question was whether the threat had truly been eliminated or if there was still challenges to be faced in the vast cosmos. Goku and Vegeta, feeling that the threat had been neutralized for the moment, separated from the Saiyan fusion. The intensity of the battle had left both Saiyans exhausted, but their attention was diverted to a disturbing reality. In the corner of their vision, they watched as a small dark creature made its way towards where Gohan and Broly were standing.
Vegeta, something's happening! We must get there fast!
Those two are in trouble if that thing gets to them. Let's go, Goku.
Both Saiyans, despite their exhaustion, dashed towards Gohan and Broly's location with as much speed as possible. As they approached, they could see the dark creature getting closer and closer to the two warriors. Gohan, who was training with Broly in an attempt to increase his skills, noticed Goku and Vegeta's arrival urgently.
Dad! Vegeta! Something's coming!
Broly, with his piercing gaze, had also sensed the approaching threat.
Evil creature, we will fight.
The small dark creature, noticing the presence of the Saiyans, stopped advancing and displayed a malevolent laugh.
Ha ha ha! Your victory was short-lived. This is only the first of many surprises.
Before they could react, the dark creature split into multiple smaller shadows, surrounding Gohan and Broly with astonishing speed.
Watch out, Broly! They're fast and dangerous!
We will fight. We won't let them defeat us.
Goku and Vegeta, arriving just in time, joined the battle. The battle became a chaotic dance of blows and explosions as the Saiyans fought the dark shadows that multiplied endlessly.
Let's finish this quickly. Gohan, Broly, stay strong.
Got it, Vegeta!
Broly, unleashing his titanic power, emitted a wave of energy that temporarily dispersed the dark shadows. However, the dark creature, in a final act of desperation, merged back into a larger, more powerful form.
My shadows cannot be so easily defeated. The real battle has just begun.
The shadow creature, now strengthened and more menacing than ever, faced the four Saiyan warriors with palpable malevolence. Gohan, Broly, Goku, and Vegeta moved into battle stance, facing the shadow creature with determination.
Come on, guys! Let's work together and put an end to this menace once and for all!
Broly growled in agreement, his power emanating from him with an imposing force. Goku and Vegeta, despite their earlier exhaustion, raised their energies ready for the battle ahead. The shadow creature, with a sinister laugh, lunged towards them with surprising speed. The Saiyans responded with a coordinated assault, launching energy blasts and performing combo attacks. However, the shadow creature was agile and dodged their attacks with ease.
We can't let this thing get away. Concentrate on attacking together.
You're right, Vegeta. If we fight them as a team, we can overcome anything.
The four Saiyans synchronized their movements, attacking in harmony. Broly unloaded titanic blows. Gohan used his agility and advanced techniques, while Goku and Vegeta coordinated their energies to create a combined assault. Despite their efforts, the shadow creature proved to be resilient and adaptable. It defended with cunning and counterattacked with fury. In a moment of tension, the shadow creature unleashed a dark glow that enveloped its form, transforming to an even more powerful and monstrous version.
It's getting stronger again!
It doesn't matter. I'll destroy it.
The battle intensified as the shadow creature in its enhanced form launched waves of dark energy and unleashed more devastating attacks. The Saiyans, however, did not back down. Despite the gravity of the situation, their determination burned stronger than ever.
There's no limit to our strength when we fight together! Come on, guys, we can't lose!
This thing doesn't know who it's messing with. Get ready for what's coming.
Gohan, Broly, Goku, and Vegeta channeled their energies to the maximum, shaking the earth under the intensity of their combined power. In a unified act, the four Saiyans raised their ki to the limit and lunged towards the shadow creature with indomitable resolve. The shadow creature, now in its strengthened form, unleashed a dark energy that enveloped Broly, possessing the mighty Saiyan with a malevolent influence. Broly, his eyes now awash with shadows, stood before the other Saiyans with a menacing presence.
Broly, I won't let you be used as a puppet. We must save him. We won't let this thing manipulate Broly. Come on, guys, let's protect ourselves and save our friend.
This is getting more complicated than I thought, but no matter, we won't let the darkness win. The battle began with the shadow creature using Broly's immense power against them. The controlled Saiyans' attacks were fierce, with waves of energy and bursts of ki that challenged even the most experienced warriors. The Saiyans dodged and counterattacked, but the shadow creature took advantage of Broly's brute strength to counter his moves.
We must weaken it enough to free Broly! Dad, Vegeta, let's follow the plan and attack in unison!
The three Saiyans coordinated, launching a series of swift and powerful attacks. However, the shadow creature moved with agility, dodging most of the blows and countering with blows of its own. Broly, under the influence of the Dark Possession, was showing superhuman endurance.
It's not enough! Broly, fight against this influence!
We must force him to break free. We're gonna give it our all. In a moment of desperation, the Saiyans decided to raise their powers to the maximum. Goku transformed into Super Saiyan second stage, Gohan advanced his mystical form, and Vegeta unleashed his own power into Super Saiyan second stage. The three Saiyans surrounded Broly, launching a combination of flurry of powerful attacks.
Broly, resist! Don't let their darkness consume you!
The shadow creature, feeling the combined presence of the three Saiyan warriors, showed signs of weakness. However, in a desperate act, the dark energy intensified its hold on Broly, raising its power even higher and unleashing unbridled fury.
We can't give up! We're going to free Broly, whatever it takes!
The battle reached its climax as the three Saiyan warriors, Goku, Gohan, and Vegeta, clashed against the shadow creature possessing Broly. The unleashed energy created a spectacle of flashes, explosions, and shockwaves that shook the battlefield. Goku, with his power as a Super Saiyan, moved with astonishing speed, launched energy blasts and accurate punches at the shadow creature. Gohan, in his mystical form, unleashed a combination of fast attacks and advanced techniques, seeking to weaken the dark possession that controlled Broly. Vegeta, in his Super Saiyan second phase form, displayed titanic power, coordinating his attacks with calculated precision.
Broly, listen to my voice! Don't be consumed by this darkness!
The shadow creature, however, resisted tenaciously, harnessing Broly's brute strength and ferocity to counter the Saiyans' attacks. Broly, under the Dark Possession, responded with unstoppable strength, his attacks more intense and uncontrolled.
We need to weaken that possession! Come on, guys, keep up the pressure!
This dark power won't last forever. We must resist! The battle grew more frantic. With each passing moment, the shadow creature, sensing the threat of the Saiyans, intensified its hold on Broly, fusing its dark energy with the brute strength of the legendary Saiyan.
We can't back down now! Broly's our friend, and we won't let this darkness control him!
In a moment of perfect synchronization, the three Saiyans focused their energies into a coordinated attack. Goku launched a Kamehameha, Gohan unleashed a Masenko, and Vegeta fired a final flash, all aimed at the shadow creature. The resulting explosion illuminated the battlefield, creating an energy storm. However, when the light faded, the shadow creature Broly still stood, visibly weakened but far from defeated.
It's not enough! We must find a way to free Broly from this possession!
At that moment, the shadow creature, taking advantage of the Saiyans' momentary weakness, launched a surprise attack, sending Goku and Gohan to the ground. Vegeta, with his rage in his eyes, stood up determined. Enough's enough! We won't let this thing continue to manipulate Broly. Vegeta concentrated his ki to the maximum, unleashing a new transformation. His intense blue aura transformed into an even brighter and more powerful hue. Super Saiyan Blue! The atmosphere itself seemed to tremble at the magnitude of the transformation. Vegeta, now in his evolved form, launched himself towards the shadow creature with renewed speed and power. Vegeta's transformation in Super Saiyan Blue Evolved caused a dramatic change in the intensity of the battle. His bright blue aura flashed with overwhelming energy as he charged towards the shadowy creature and Broly, who was still under his influence. It's time to put an end to this. Broly, I'll fight to free you from this darkness. The Shadow Creature, sensing the threat posed by Super Saiyan Blue, adopted a defensive stance. On the other hand, Broly, his eyes still darkened, prepared to face Vegeta. Vegeta unleashed a flurry of quick and precise attacks, combining punches and kicks with astonishing speed. Each move was charged with the strength of the new form, and the Shadow Creature was forced to retreat in the face of Vegeta's fury.
Broly, regain control. I'll not allow this darkness to consume you.
Broly, under the influence of the Dark Possession, responded with impressive stamina. His attacks were brutal and uncontrolled, but Vegeta moved with a dexterity that defied expectations.
I need to find an opening in this possession.
In an act of bravery, Vegeta launched himself directly towards Broly. Their fists collided forcefully, and Vegeta, using all his skill, made precise strikes that temporarily weakened the dark influence.
Broly, fight this! You're stronger than this darkness!
The shadowy creature, seeing Vegeta's resistance, increased his energy and fused even more with Broly. Now the dark influence was more entrenched than ever, and Broly unleashed an explosion of wild power.
You can't stop me, Saiyan Prince!
Vegeta, not backing down, continued to engage Broly. The battle reached new heights as both warriors unleashed their most powerful attacks. Vegeta launched a Big Bang attack while Broly responded with a gigantic charge of dark energy. The collision of energies generated a huge explosion that blanketed the area. After the dust settled, Vegeta lay on the ground, clearly exhausted but not giving up.
I can't lose. My determination's stronger than your darkness.
The battle between Vegeta and Broly, who was possessed by the shadow creature, reached a critical point. The overflowing energy of the confrontation was spreading across the battlefield, distorting the air and creating palpable tension. At that crucial moment, Goku found himself regaining consciousness, stood up, and immediately went to Saiyan's Prince's side.
Vegeta, let's go! Let's give it all we've got!
Goku's transformation into Super Saiyan Phase 2 and joined the fray. The shadow creature, seeing the arrival of another Saiyan warrior, prepared to face the new threat.
Kakarot, you're just in time. This thing has gotten stronger with Broly.
We'll face it together! Broly, we won't let this darkness control you!
The three Saiyans stood in formation, ready to deal with the shadow creature fused with Broly. The intensity of the conflict increased even more, with flashes of energy and clashes of fists echoing throughout the battlefield.
Come on, Kakarot, let's attack in unison and free Broly.
I got it, Vegeta! Together, we'll free him!
The Saiyans coordinated their attacks, launching a combined blast towards the shadow creature. Despite their efforts, Broly's dark possession was still resisting, fueled by the brute strength of the legendary Saiyan. Broly, under the influence of the shadow creature, unleashed an uncontrolled fury. His attacks were unpredictable and devastating, putting the Saiyans on the defensive. Goku, Vegeta, and the shadow creature continued to exchange energy blasts and powerful blows.
Vegeta, we must break that possession! We can't let Broly fall into darkness!
Roger that, Kakarot. Let's keep attacking together.
Amidst the chaos of the battlefield, the fiery aura of the Saiyans lit up the sky, a visual manifestation of their mammoth power. Goku and Vegeta, feeling the weight of the battle, decided to take it a step further. They joined their energies in a symphony of power, a final bid to tear apart the shadows enveloping the evil presence. The shadow creature, on the brink of the abyss, responded with desperation. It raised its own power, and the darkness churned with intensity as it struggled to resist the combined onslaught of the Saiyans. The clash of energies created a cataclysm of flashes and booms, shaking the battlefield to its core. At that critical moment, the energy explosion was unleashed with dazzling magnificence. The earth shook, and the shockwaves swept across the landscape, leaving behind a trail of destruction. Goku, Vegeta, and Broly, enveloped in the blanket of the explosion, were momentarily eclipsed by the blinding light and dancing shadow. When the shimmering luminosity faded, the Saiyans found themselves faced with a new scenario. On the ground lay Broly, his figure shrouded in a residual haze of the contest. The dark aura that had consumed him had finally dissipated. Stillness reigned on the battlefield. As the warriors approached with worried looks, the formidable warrior who now resisted, his power darkened, finally silenced.
We did it, Vegeta! Broly's free!
Yes, but this shadow creature's still a problem. We can't let our guard down.
Vegeta nodded grimly as they watched Broly, who lay on the ground, slowly recovering from the intense battle. However, at that moment of apparent calm, the shadow creature, cunning and unnoticed, had left Broly's possession to seek a new host. The dark entity swiftly swept into the shadows, unnoticed by the Saiyans, who still assessing their companion's condition. Silently, the shadow creature crept towards Gohan, who had been watching the battle from a distance. Gohan, oblivious to the threat looming over him, felt a shiver run down his spine just as the shadow creature enveloped him with its dark presence. A momentary flash of its eyes indicated that something was terribly wrong. At that instant, Gohan, with a sudden alteration in his expression, went on guard without warning. His gaze, now posed by the shadow creature, glowed with a malevolence that contrasted with his gentle nature. Goku, noticing the sudden tension, turned towards Gohan, but before he could react, Gohan, under the influence of the shadow creature, moved with supernatural speed. The confrontation with Broly had left the Saiyans exhausted, and the shadow creature, seizing the opportunity, vanished into the darkness along with Gohan. Vegeta, realizing the situation, gritted his teeth in fury. The threat persisted, and now Gohan, a valuable ally, was in the hands of the shadows. Goku and Vegeta, despite their exhaustion, prepared for a new confrontation, aware that the battle had not yet come to an end. The tension in the air was palpable, as Goku and Vegeta, still worried about Broly, with determination, turned towards the place where the dark entity had vanished.
Damn it, where'd that thing go?
I don't know, Vegeta, but we must find it before it hurts Gohan.
The two Saiyans, quick as the wind, rushed towards where Gohan had been standing, their senses alert. The shadow creature, now inside Gohan, emerged from the shadows with a sinister laugh.
Looks like they're not as cunning as they thought. Now I have a new toy for my plans. Get out of Gohan, you damn creature.
I'll not allow you to possess my son.
Ha! You think you could stop me? My power possesses even more of your combined forces. Do not underestimate the Saiyans. We have overcome greater challenges than you.
Leave Gohan and face your fate, creature. You'll not be victorious.
The shadow creature, now in control of Gohan, smiled malevolently before responding.
We'll see how long you can resist. Gohan is now an instrument of my will.
The shadow creature possessing Gohan unleashed a burst of dark energy that distorted the surrounding space. Goku and Vegeta suddenly found themselves during a chaotic confrontation, with Gohan now transformed into an instrument of the malevolent entity. The waves of energy radiating from Gohan's possessed figure created an ominous aura that filled the battlefield, defying the Saiyans' endurance and determination. The Saiyans, in their Super Saiyan Blue form, prepared for the impending clash. The shadow creature, using Gohan's body, moved with supernatural agility, dodging the Saiyans' first attacks with grace and malice. Gohan, his eyes now filled with darkness, lunged at Goku with astonishing speed. Goku blocked Gohan's first few blows with difficulty, feeling the enhanced strength and speed of his new controlled son. The fight was intense, each move charged with power and ferocity. Meanwhile, Vegeta positioned himself strategically, assessing the situation, looking for an opening to attack. The shadow creature, through Gohan, unleashed a flurry of attack, which devastating blows that kept Goku on the defensive. However, Goku's ability to adapt quickly to the battle allowed him to counter the attacks and counterattack with his own overwhelming power. Vegeta, sensing an opportunity, lunged at the shadow creature from an unexpected angle. However, the dark entity had sharp reflexes and deflected Vegeta's attack with ease, throwing Gohan against Goku as a distraction. The Shadows creature's strategy paid off, as it took advantage of the distraction to hit Vegeta with a beam of dark energy. Vegeta, although he resisted the impact, was momentarily weakened. The entity, now with a malevolent smile, turned to him.
Damn it! This isn't over, shadow creature.
Goku, reacting quickly, stepped between the shadow creature and Vegeta.
Vegeta, hold on! We can't let this thing divide us.
The shadow creature, enjoying the chaos at its zone, released a dark aura that enveloped both Saiyans. The dark energy sought to confuse and weaken their senses. However, the Saiyans' instinctive connection to Ki enabled them to resist the dark influence. The battle raged in a frenzy of clashing colors and energies. Gohan, controlled by the shadow creature, moved with a mixture of speed and agility that defied the laws of physics. Goku and Vegeta, each focusing on their own battlefront, were trying to coordinate their attacks to free Gohan from the dark possession.
Gohan, fight this darkness! You're stronger than this!
Gohan, though showing flashes of resistance, was caught in an internal struggle between his will and the shadow creature's control. The battle grew more challenging. With each passing second, the shadow creature reveled in its ability to manipulate and corrupt one of Earth's mightiest warriors. Vegeta, recovering from the earlier onslaught, threw himself back into the fray. The shadow creature, however, anticipated his attack and gracefully dodged Vegeta's attempts to strike it. The Dark Entity counterattacked with a series of precise blows that forced Vegeta to retreat.
You damn Shadow, don't underestimate the Prince of the Saiyans.
Goku, seeing his partner's difficulty, raised his power to the maximum. Dazzling energy emanated from his Super Saiyan Blue form as he prepared for a concentrated attack. The shadow creature, noticing the glowing threat, diverted its attention to Goku.
Vegeta, keep up the pressure. I'm gonna concentrate my energy to free Gohan.
Vegeta nodded and increased his offensive, distracting the shadow creature as Goku concentrated his power. The fight reached a new level of intensity, with each move echoing across the vast battlefield. The energy collided, creating shockwaves that distorted reality itself. Goku, eyes glowing with determination, unleashed his most powerful attack. A sphere of glowing blue energy formed in his outstretched hands. Charged with the combined strength of the Saiyans, the spear grew in size and the power as Goku had held it in place.
It's time to free Gohan!
The shadow creature, realizing the threat, moved quickly to stop Goku's attack. Vegeta, taking advantage of the distraction, lunged with renewed fury, looking for an opening to attack. The battle reached its climax when Goku released the energy sphere, ascending it directly towards the shadow creature. The energy sphere burst into a dazzling flash, illuminating the battlefield with intense light. Shockwaves swept through the darkness as Goku's purifying energy sought to free Gohan from the shadow creature's possession. However, as the light faded and the earth stopped shaking, the shadow creature emerged seemingly unharmed. The Dark Entity, now irritated, turned to the Saiyans with a twisted laugh.
Is that all you can do? My power is unbreakable.
Goku and Vegeta, despite their exhaustion, prepared for the next assault. The battle, far from ending, dragged on into confrontation of epic proportions. Darkness and light collided in an endless clash, with the will of the Saiyans resisting against the entity that threatened to plunge them into the shadows. The dark creature, after resisting Goku's powerful attack, showed a malicious smile. A dark glow enveloped Gohan, and his body began to tremble with intensity. A guttural scream echoed through the air as the Dark Entity forced a unique transformation on the Saiyan warrior. Gohan, under the shadow creature's influence, contorted and his body was enveloped in a dark, feral energy. The earth trembled with the intensity of the transformation, and Gohan's figure began to change. Defined musculature, red eyes, a wild gaze, long gray hair, and emerging in the new form, Gohan Dark Beast. Vegeta and Goku, shocked by the unexpected evolution, instinctively recoiled from the overwhelming presence of Dark Gohan Beast. The shadow creature had accomplished what it could not do with Broly, unleash a unique and uncontrolled transformation on Gohan. Dark Beast Gohan, now freed from any hint of rationality, roared skyward, emitting an overwhelming energy that shook the battlefield. His eyes glowed with an animalistic intensity, and his posture indicated that human control was suppressed.
This can't be happening. What did that thing do?
The shadow creature managed to unlock something inside Gohan. This won't be easy.
The shadow creature, pleased with the success of its manipulation, watched the scene with satisfaction.
Now, witness my true power. The Saiyan Beast Warrior. How do you plan to stop him?
Dark Beast Gohan let out a deafening roar and lunged towards Vegeta with impressive speed. Dark Beast Gohan's attacks were ferociously savage, his brute strength and speed surpassing even Broly's most rampaging transformation. Vegeta, using his speed and agility, dodged Dark Beast Gohan's first attacks. However, the Saiyan Beast Warrior's ferocity was unpredictable, and Vegeta was forced to deploy all his skill to stay out of range of the devastating attacks. Goku, assessing the situation, transformed into Super Saiyan Blue and rushed to Vegeta's aid. The two Saiyans fought in tactical coordination, looking to open an opportunity to counter Gohan's savage new form. The battle became a whirlwind of energy, with explosions and crashes echoing across the battlefield. The shadow creature in the shadows continued to manipulate and fuel Dark Beast Gohan's fury. The Saiyan strategy was becoming more and more challenging as Dark Beast Gohan seemed to be one step ahead, anticipating their moves.
Damn it! Gohan Beast is too unpredictable.
We must find a way to free Gohan from this transformation. We can't let the shadow control his true power.
As the Saiyans faced Gohan Beast's fury, the shadow creature watched from the shadows, enjoying the chaos he had unleashed. The situation was becoming more critical with each passing moment, and the Saiyans' endurance was being tested in the face of Beast Gohan's uncontrollable fury. The battle raged on in a titanic struggle between light and darkness, with the hope of freeing Gohan from the influence of the shadow creature hanging in delicate balance. The Saiyans, determined to overcome this challenge, faced an enemy that had managed to unleash an even greater internal threat than before. While the intense battle raged on the battlefield, Piccolo, the Namekian sage, was immersed in his mental training somewhere secluded. His concentration was so deep that he could feel an abrupt shifting ki, a disturbance that reverberated through space and time. A shiver ran down his back, indicating the gravity of the situation.
Something's not right.
The Namekian instantly stood up, his cloak billowing as he focused on the direction of the glowing chaos. The power he felt was not just brute force. It was an amalgam of dark energies that seemed to defy the very essence of reality. Wasting no time, Piccolo prepared to approach this side of the conflict. Back on the battlefield, Goku and Vegeta fought valiantly against Dark Beast Gohan, who moved with uncontrollable ferocity under the influence of the shadow creature. The dark entity, sensing Piccolo's arrival, smirked.
Looks like we have a new guest. This just gets more interesting.
Goku and Vegeta focused on Gohan Beast, noticing Piccolo's presence as he appeared on the battlefield with a serenity that contrasted with the surrounding chaos.
What happened here? What have you done with Gohan? That shadow thing possessed Gohan and transformed it into a wild beast.
We can't free Gohan this way. The shadow creature manipulates his power in unimaginable ways.
Dark Beast Gohan, noticing Piccolo's arrival, turned to him with wild eyes. The shadow creature, enjoying the chaos, prepared for the next act of this heartbreaking play.
Welcome, Piccolo. You're just in time to witness the inevitable downfall of these Saiyans. Don't underestimate the Saiyans or my determination. I'm here to free Gohan.
The Namekian braced himself for the confrontation, deploying his ki with an intensity that made it clear he would not be a mere spectator in this battle. Dark Beast Gohan, fueled by the shadowy influence, roared and lunged towards Piccolo with a speed that defied all logic. The battle became even more chaotic with Piccolo's entrance. His movements were precise and calculated, contrasting with the wild ferocity of Dark Beast Gohan. Goku and Vegeta, aware of Piccolo's strategic skill, adjusted their approach to coordinate their attacks with the Namekian. Meanwhile, the shadow creature watched the battle with a Machiavellian smile, enjoying the confrontation between the forces of light and shadow. The dark entity was determined to prove that its influence was insurmountable. The fight unfolded in a whirlwind of colliding energies, with Piccolo demonstrating his tactical and strategic prowess. Dark Beast Gohan, however, remained a formidable challenge, his erratic movements and uncontrolled strength testing the tenacity of the warriors on the battlefield.
Goku, Vegeta, we need to plan to break the connection between Gohan and that shadow creature.
You're right, Piccolo. We need to attack from different fronts and destabilize that connection.
I'll take care of keeping Beast Gohan busy. Kakarot, you use the connection you have with your son to try to isolate the shadow creature.
Goku and Vegeta, coordinating their efforts with Piccolo's strategic expertise, went on the assault. Piccolo used his wisdom to be able to devise a way to get Dark Beast Gohan out of said possession, while Vegeta unleashed his fury with calculated attacks to keep the beast at bay. As the battle continued, the shadow creature began to feel the pressure of the combined strategy of the Saiyans and Piccolo. The connection between Gohan and the dark entity was under threat, and the shadow creature, despite its confidence, was beginning to show signs of concern. The battle was far from over, but the warriors' resilience was growing stronger in the face of the adversity that loomed over them. As Piccolo continued his mental struggle to free Gohan from the shadow creature's possession, his Namekian senses sharpened. Keen perception led him to identify a small shadow leech clinging to Dark Beast Gohan's lower neck, a detail that had not been evident in Broly's previous possession due to his long hair covering that region.
That's it. The key in this little shadow leech on his neck. We must eliminate it to free Gohan.
Piccolo's revelation attracted the attention of Vegeta and Goku on the physical battlefield. Vegeta, upon hearing this, turned his gaze to the back of Gohan Beast's dark neck and noticed the presence of the Shadow Leech.
A Shadow Leech? That explains why we couldn't free Broly this way.
How do we eliminate it without harming Gohan?
As Piccolo struggled to maintain his mental connection, he analyzed this situation and came up with a strategy.
If we attack the Shadow Leech directly, we might harm Gohan in the process. We need a precise way to eliminate it without endangering his life. So what's the plan, Piccolo? Goku, you've mastered Ultra Instinct, but you can only maintain it for a few seconds. We need to take advantage of those brief moments to distract Dark Beast Gohan and allow you to get close enough to destroy the Shadow Leech.
Understood, Piccolo. I'll do my best.
But how do we make sure Beast Gohan doesn't attack while Kakarot's approaching? That's the tricky part. We need to keep Gohan busy and distracted. Vegeta, your attacks must be precise and constant, keeping his attention on you. I will, but Kakarot, don't make me regret this.
The battle resumed with renowned intensity. Vegeta went on the offensive, attacking Gohan Dark Beast with a series of swift and powerful blows. Gohan responded with ferocity, but Vegeta maintained agile, dodging his attacks while keeping the savage Saiyan warrior's attention. At that moment, Goku concentrated, channeling Ultra Instinct. An aura of flickering energy surrounded him as he activated the powerful transformation. His speed increased exponentially, allowing him to easily dodge Dark Beast Gohan's attacks.
Now, Goku, now's your chance.
Goku in his Ultra Instinct state moved with superhuman speed towards Gohan's rear. The shadow creature, still focused on the fierce confrontation with Vegeta, did not notice Goku's approach. This is my chance to end this! With pinpoint accuracy, Goku reached out his hand and touched the small Shadow Leech on Gohan's neck. The leech, upon being touched by the Ultra Instinct energy, began to fade, emitting a dark screech before dissolving completely. Dark Beast Gohan, losing connection with the Shadow Leech, shook violently, as if releasing himself from a trance. Vegeta, noticing the change, cautiously stepped back as Goku returned to his normal state.
What happened?
Kakarot seems to have found a way to free you from that thing.
It was risky, but it worked.
Well done, Goku, but don't let your guard down. This shadow creature might have more tricks up its sleeve.
The immediate threat had been neutralized. The shadow creature, watching from the shadows, moving away unnoticed by the Saiyan warriors, was not about to give up, so the shadow creature set out to return to its master. After the terrifying moment that the Z warriors had experienced, Goku and Vegeta realized that Beerus and Whis were not on Earth. They had disappeared just moments before the shadow creatures appeared on Earth. This is because Daishinkan discovered that Zeno-sama had been killed by his father and immediately summoned all the angels and gods of destruction. In the majestic realm of all, Daishinkan, the high priest, summoned all the angels and gods of destruction of the existing universes. The atmosphere in the hall was unusually tense, and concern was reflected in the faces of those present. Daishinkan, with his usual calmness, prepared to share the disturbing truth he had discovered.
Angels and gods of destruction, the time has come to face a powerful truth. Zeno-sama, our beloved king of all, has been slain.
Silence fell over the hall. The angels and the gods of destruction exchanged looks of disbelief and dismay. No one expected that such a tragedy could occur, especially at the hands of someone so powerful.
My investigation revealed that the one responsible for this abominable act was Zeno-sama's own father.
The news resounded like a somber echo in the room. Everyone present processed the shocking revelation. The omnipresent figure of Zeno-sama, the supreme deity, had been shattered by his own protagonist. Mojito, Sidra's angel, spoke in a worried voice. How is it possible that a being as powerful as Zeno-sama's father could have committed such an act?
That is a question for which I still have no answers. But now we must face the consequences of this event. The stability of the multiverse is in danger.
Arak, the god of destruction of Quitella, asked,
"And what measures will we take in the face of this threat? What'll happen to the throne of Zeno-sama?" That is a question we must discuss and resolve. For now, the throne remains empty, and our duty is to maintain peace and balance. But before we make hasty decisions, we need to fully understand the magnitude of this situation.
Beerus and Whis prepared to inform the gods of destruction and angels of all universes about what they had witnessed while on planet Earth with Goku and Vegeta. The Hall of the Realm of Everything was filled with celestial beings, each one expectant and worried about the news they were about to receive.
Attention everyone! We have crucial information to share about the events that have been unfolded.
Before we are summoned here, the father of Zeno-sama appeared on all the planets of the multiverse. Surprise was reflected on the faces of those present. Murmurs and whispers filled the room, as the gods of destruction and angels exchanged looks of disbelief. His visit was not simply to report the death of Zeno-sama. He announced the holding of the tournament that would determine the survival of the planets in each universe. Additional rumors filled the room, creating a constant buzz of concern. The gods of destruction and angels wanted to understand the implications of such an announcement.
He informed the rules of the tournament and the intentions behind such a competition, but it's necessary that we all work together to get answers and face this threat. It is time to join forces and overcome this crisis. The fate of our universes is at stake.
As the gods and angels absorbed the gravity of the situation, in every corner of the Hall of the Realm of Everything, conversations and plans were brewing to confront the mysterious tournament that threatened to upset the balance of the multiverse. Uncertainty hung in the air, but the determination of the divine beings was determined to face the unknown that lay ahead. In the Hall of Everything, Daishinkan, the High Priest, sensed the imminent arrival of extremely powerful entities heading for the different planets of the multiverse. His face reflected seriousness as he prepared to inform all the angels and gods of destruction present of the coming threat.
Gods and angels of destruction, the time has come to face a new and challenging threat. Entities of great power are headed towards the planets of our universes, and their goal seems to be a direct confrontation with the strongest warriors of each world.
The expressions of those present became serious. Aware of the gravity of the situation, Daishinkan continued with determination.
It's crucial that we move quickly to protect the strongest warriors of each planet, regardless of which universe they belong to. The threat we face does not respect universal boundaries, and we must act with unity to preserve the balance.
Vados, the Angel of Champa, raised his hand.
How do you plan for us to move, Daishinkan? We each have responsibilities in our universes. I understand the complexity of this situation, but the magnitude of this threat requires immediate action. I suggest that every angel and god of destruction move to the planets threatened by this unknown force. We must prevent the strongest warriors from being defeated before we can fully understand our enemies.
Sounds like a sensible plan, Daishinkan. If we all work together, we can protect our warriors and gain more information about these powerful entities. Each angel and god of destruction nodded in agreement, accepting the need to act immediately. They moved quickly to the various planets, casting aside universal barriers in a joint effort to safeguard the multiverse.
May the wisdom and power of each of you guide this effort. Let us not underestimate this new threat. Our duty is to protect the existence of our universes.
With those words, the angels and gods of destruction dispersed, leaving the Hall of All in preparation to face a challenge that transcended universal boundaries and demanded the collaboration of all divine beings. Uncertainty hung in the air, but determination to preserve the balance of the multiverse guided the powerful beings in their joint mission. The angels and gods of destruction quickly teleported to the threatened planets, each determined to protect the strongest warriors on the various planets. In the blink of an eye, the skies lit up with flashes of divine energy as Awamo and Ewin, Cognac and Quintella, Matanu and Geen, Whis and Beerus, and the other angels and gods of destruction headed toward their assigned destinations. The planet Thraxis Nocturne lay peaceful in the corner of the cosmos, its nocturnal luminosity radiating a tranquility that was about to be disturbed. In the vast space, Awamo the angel, with his small book in hand, and his god of destruction Ewin, an imposing figure with a stern gaze, detected the arrival of a shadow creature, a minion of Zeno-sama's father. The creature, shrouded in malevolent darkness, descended with malevolent determination towards Thraxis Nocturne. Ewin, without hesitation, deployed his energy of destruction while Awano stood by, hoping to resolve the conflict without a bath of chaos. Creature, your darkness will not be tolerated in this realm. Stop your destructive plans. The shadow creature emanated a guttural growl. its presence emanating an unnatural energy that distorted the space around it. The space battle began with an explosion of opposing forces. Iwin launched destructive beams, while Iwamo used his speed to dodge the attacks and assess the situation.
Iwin, this creature's stronger than we imagined. We must be cautious. I know, Iwamo, but we can't let him destroy Thraxis Nocturne. We must give our best.
The shadow creature, agile and evasive, responded to the attacks with dark energy waves that distorted space. The battle spread across the firmament, leaving traces of destructive energy in its wake. Iwin tried to anticipate the creature's movements. However, the shadow creature proved to be agile and adaptive, countering every strategy with an unmatched dark force.
Our conventional methods don't work. Iwin, we need to combine our forces. I agree, Iwamo. It's time to show them the true power of destruction.
Iwamo and Iwin merged their energies, creating a flash of light that defied the surrounding darkness. The shadow creature, perceiving the threat, intensified its own energy, generating a collision of cosmic forces that shook space itself. The battle reached a fever pitch, with cosmic explosions lighting up the scene as Iwamo and Iwin struggled to contain the darkness. The struggle took place not only on the physical plane, but also on the spiritual one, where the will to protect Thraxis Nocturne was pitted against the ruthless ambition of the shadow creature. The fusion of Iwamo and Iwin unleashed a dazzling energy that eclipsed even the nocturnal luminosity of Thraxis Nocturne. The gold and violet glow enveloped the divine couple as they prepared to face the dark threat looming over the peaceful planet.
It's time to show the true extent of our power, Iwamo.
The shadow creature, aware of the growing threat, rushed towards them with supernatural speed. Iwamo, with his keen perception, anticipated every movement of the creature, allowing the couple to dodge its onslaughts with heavenly elegance.
Keep calm, Iwin. We must synchronize our movements to counteract their darkness.
Iwin nodded and unleashed a series of destructive energy blasts that lit up the space around him. However, the shadow creature responded with amazing agility, dodging every attack with meandering movements. The battle became a cosmic game of strategy and speed. The angel Iwamo and the god of destruction Iwin soon realized that in order to defeat this entity, they would need a coordinated attack that transcended the limits of their individual abilities. In a moment of perfect timing, they unleashed a gale of combined energy. Iwamo channeled the energy of destruction while Iwin released violet flashes of destruction.
Focus your energy, Iwamo. Let's get rid of this darkness once and for all.
Iwamo nodded and joined the attack with determination. The fused energy of both angel and god turned into a spear of golden and violet light that pierced through space with an impressive speed. The shadow creature, caught in the torrent of power, let out a heart-rending howl as it was enveloped by the luminosity. The impact was abysmal, generating an expansive wave that shook the cosmos. The darkness that enveloped the creature began to dissipate, revealing its twisted and weakened form. Iwamo and Iwin, exhausted but triumphant, stood on guard ready for any eventuality.
We have managed to contain their darkness, but we can't let our guard down.
The shadow creature, now visibly weakened, recoiled before the imposing presence of Iwamo and Iwin. The light had prevailed over the darkness in the cosmic corner of Thraxis Nocturne. The divine couple remained firm in their duty to protect the planet that this creature wanted to destroy. However, the battle was not yet over, and the fates of the planets remained uncertain in the vastness of space. After the shocked combined attack of Iwamo and Iwin, the space around Thraxis Nocturne was vibrating with the residual energy of the cosmic battle. The shadow creature, apparently weakened, remained suspended in the cosmic void, enveloped in a dark glow that seemed to absorb the surrounding light. The divine couple watched cautiously, aware that the fate of Thraxis Nocturne was still hung in the cosmic balance.
Iwin, something's not right. The darkness of that creature seems to be getting stronger instead of weaker. It seems that our attack has absorbed by her, but it shouldn't be possible. How can he transform our energy of destruction to his own power?
The shadow creature, now surrounded by a more intense aura, began to change its shape. Its twisted figure became more defined. His eyes shone with a malevolent lucidity. The darkness emanating from her was becoming denser, distorting the space around her.
You have underestimated my true potential, Angel and God of Destruction. Your energy has strengthened me beyond your comprehension.
The divine couple prepared for what was to come next, aware that the threat they faced had evolved. The shadow creature, now empowered by the absorbed energy, charged towards them with renewed speed and ferocity.
We need to be more cautious, Ewan. It seems that every blow we inflict makes her stronger. Understood, Owamo, but we can't allow this darkness to devour Thraxis Nocturne.
The battle resumed with increased intensity. The shadow creature attacked with bursts of dark energy that cut through space, while Owamo and Ewan responded with flashes of golden and violet light. The cosmic dance of lights and shadows painted an epic picture in the vastness of the universe. Each blow and backlash echoed like thunder in space, distorting reality itself. Owamo, with his keen perception, tried to anticipate the movements of the dark creature, but the dark entity proved to be unpredictable. Ewan, with his energy of destruction, sought to weaken the creature, but his attacks seemed to be absorbed and turned into an additional source of power.
Every time we hit her, her power increases. We can't go on like this. We must find a way to counteract his ability, to absorb our energy. Do you have any ideas, Owamo?
Owamo pondered for a moment, his angelic mind working in search of a solution. Meanwhile, the shadow creature, aware of its opponent's confusion, took the opportunity to launch a surprise attack. A wave of dark energy enveloped Owamo and Ewan, distorting their perception and weakening their defenses.
Your resistance is useless. I am the embodiment of darkness. His light cannot prevail before me.
The situation was becoming more and more desperate for the divine couple as they struggled to resist the shadow creature's attacks. Owamo turned his attention to the small book he always carried with him. An idea began to form in his mind.
Ewan, I think I have an idea, but we need to synchronize our attacks in a different way. Explain yourself, Owamo.
Owamo explained his plan to Ewan, who nodded in understanding. Both God and Angel prepared to put their strategy into practice. The shadow creature, confident in its superiority, launched into the attack again, but this time Owamo and Ewan were ready to respond differently.
Now, Ewan, combine your energy of destruction with mine in a more controlled way.
Ewan nodded and channeled his energy to Owamo, who, in turn, merged it with his. Instead of launching a direct attack, they created a sphere of combined light and energy that floated between them.
Do you think this tactic will change the outcome? We'll see.
The energy sphere began to slowly expand, emanating a glowing light that contrasted the surrounding darkness. The shadow creature, curious but confident, watched the development with disdain.
The fused power is not only destructive, but it also has properties that counteract its absorption capacity.
The combined energy sphere, now reaching its maximum expansion, released a wave of light and energy that enveloped the shadow creature. This time, instead of absorbing the power, the darkness that characterized her began to dissipate.
What is this? My power should not be weakened. We create an energy that goes beyond destruction and creation, one that neutralizes the darkness that you're trying to absorb.
The shadow creature, weakened by Owamo and Ewan's strategic counterattack, retreated as the combined energy sphere continued to exert its effect. The light emanating from the sphere began to purify the darkness surrounding the entity, revealing its original form before corruption.
It seems our tactic's working, but we must make sure we contain it completely. We can't let our guard down. Let's continue with the strategy until the creature's completely neutralized.
The space battle continued, but this time Owamo and Ewan had the upper hand. His sphere of combined energy continued to exert its purifying effect, dispelling the darkness that threatened Thraxis Nocturne. With each passing moment, the shadow creature grew weaker. The light of hope began to shine in the corner of the cosmos that was once on the verge of destruction. The shadow creature, weakened by Owamo and Ewan's strategy, retreated into space, its distorted form twisting as the combined energy sphere continued to purify the darkness that enveloped it. In a desperate attempt to regain its strength, the shadow creature began to explore its surroundings, looking for an opportunity to turn the situation in his favor.
My power is weakened here. I need to find a place where darkness prevails.
While exploring, the shadow creature noticed something that favored him. His eyes flashed with malevolent anticipation as he discovered that this world was called Thraxis Nocturne because it was a planet plunged into shadows. The dark entity smiled malevolently as he realized that this planet could provide the darkness needed to revitalize his power.
Ha 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 ha! Thraxis Nocturne, a feast of darkness awaits me!
With amazing speed, the shadow creature launched itself towards the planet, traversing space with great speed. Owamo and Ewin, aware of his intentions, followed closely, determined to stop any attempt by the shadow creature to plunge into the darkness of the planet. As the creature approached Thraxis Nocturne, the darkness of the planet seemed to intensify, as if responding to its presence. The planet's nighttime atmosphere shone with a faint luminosity, offering a fascinating contrast to the surrounding stars.
Ewin, we must prevent the creature from being filled with dark power. If she succeeds, it'll be even more difficult to stop her. Understood, Owamo. We'll not allow the darkness of this planet to fall into the hands of that entity.
The shadow creature descended on Thraxis Nocturne with a terrifying impetus. As she approached, the darkness seemed to take her in, enveloping her with a gloomy welcome. The shadow creature began to absorb the darkness of the planet, its twisted form vibrating with a new energy as it filled with the essence of Thraxis Nocturne.
Ha 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 ha! Yes, this darkness will strengthen me. Nothing can stop me now.
Owamo and Ewin, wasting no time, headed towards the shadow creature, determined to stop its advance before it became unstoppable. The battle in the shadows of Thraxis Nocturne was about to take a very drastic turn.
We cannot allow this darkness to completely corrupt this creature. We must stop her before she becomes invincible. Your previous strategy was effective, Owamo. Let's keep working together to counter his power.
Deep in the shadows of Thraxis Nocturne, the intense presence of the absorbing shadow creature did not go unnoticed by the most powerful warriors on the planet. Turles, Bardock, Raditz, Frieza, and his brother Cooler felt the darkness increasing around them and, with a mixture of amazement and concern, headed toward the epicenter of the threat.
Something's not right. The darkness in this place is getting denser.
Whatever it is, we cannot let it threaten Thraxis Nocturne. Let's investigate.
The warriors moved nimbly across the gloomy terrain, advancing towards the source of the darkness. As they got closer, the atmosphere became heavier, as if the shadow itself wanted to resist their advance.
The darkness is different. I feel a strange pressure. I'm not afraid of the dark, but this is unusual. Cooler, stay alert.
Understood, Frieza. Let's find out what's going on.
Suddenly, a wave of dark energy erupted before them, revealing the shadow creature that was absorbing the darkness of the planet. His twisted figure and malevolent aura were as evident as the threat he posed to Thraxis Nocturne.
Warriors of this planet, his darkness feeds me. Soon I will be unstoppable.
We won't let you destroy Thraxis Nocturne. Get ready, creature.
The warriors went on the attack, each unleashing their unique power against the dark entity. Turles unleashed his evil aura, releasing bursts of destructive energy. Bardock channeled his Saiyan fury into powerful blows, while Raditz and Cooler coordinated their attacks to create a symphony of destruction. Frieza intensifying the struggle.
This creature doesn't know who he's up against.
Your resistance is useless. Each blow only increases my power.
The shadow creature, powered by the darkness of Thraxis Nocturne, absorbed attacks with defiant ease. Each impact seemed to strengthen rather than weaken it, plunging the warriors into the disturbing reality that they were facing an enemy that fed on its own darkness.
It's not working. He's getting stronger and stronger.
We need to change our strategy. We can't let it absorb all the darkness on the planet.
While the warriors struggled to find an effective strategy, the shadow creature, with its distorted laughter, continued to absorb the darkness, becoming more and more powerful. The Battle of Thraxis Nocturne's survival was at its most critical, and the warriors knew that they had to find a solution before the dark entity became invincible. The dark aura released by the shadow creature enveloped the warriors of Thraxis Nocturne, gradually weakening them. The warriors struggled to stay on their feet as the entity's malevolent energy infiltrated their bodies, obscuring their vital forces.
This is it. Too much.
I can't let that defeat us like this.
The warriors, despite their bravery, were overcome by the darkness emanating from the aura of the shadow creature. At that critical moment, when hope seemed to be fading, a heavenly light pierced the shadows. Owamo and Ewin, the angels charged with protecting Thraxis Nocturne, arrived on the battlefield.
The darkness emanating from this creature is breathtaking. We cannot allow it to take over this planet. Time to show these warriors how to fight true darkness.
The angel spread his wings, and together with the god of destruction, they advanced towards the shadow creature, his presence radiating a luminosity that defied the malevolent nature of the dark aura. As it approached, the dark entities sensed the arrival of divine beings and turned to face the new threat.
Ha 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 ha! More insignificant beings. His light will be devoured by my darkness. Don't underestimate the power of light. Darkness cannot resist the true essence of creation.
Owamo extended his hand, and a purifying light enveloped the battlefield, counteracting the dark effect of the creature's aura. Ewin, on the other hand, deployed the energy of destruction, creating a perfect balance between light and darkness. The shadow creature, for the first time, felt the pressure of forces that it could not easily absorb or resist. The conflict took a turn, and the battle became more intense as the angel and god of destruction faced the dark entity with the unique combination of light and destruction.
The real struggle starts now. We'll protect Thraxis Nocturne from the darkness you represent.
The fight between the angels and the shadow creature reached impressive levels, with bursts of energy illuminating the dark planet of Thraxis Nocturne. Meanwhile, the warriors, freed from the debilitating effects of the dark aura, watched the fight, hoping that their planet would not be destroyed.
What will happen next? Find out in the next chapter. Well guys, this is all for today's chapter. I hope you liked it and it was to your liking. Now don't forget to leave your powerful like Supreme God level, comment and subscribe. Now without further ado, see you in a new video. Until next time.